Intro song.
Welcome to the intro song that I meant to make last week. I'll definitely make it next week. I'm so sorry.
uh, intro
Yeah.
song. Okay.
Fireworks, fireworks, intro
Um.
fireworks.
Pew, 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 pew.
Bow, bow, bow.
Yeah. So what it was today? We have three guests joining us. Well, maybe three guests, up to three. We have two for sure, or I think
Mhm.
one for sure. One for sure. Um.
Backtrack.
Yeah. We'll see. Actually, I don't know how sure.
Yeah.
He should. He did say 6:40. Oh, I don't know. 6:40 my time. I think we confirmed 6:40 my time. Just check again, because that would be bad if it was 6:40 his time. Yep, 6:40 EDT, 3:40 PDT. Yeah, because
Cool.
he's on the Pacific Coast. He's in California. And what they did was they started this Space Lab website, and what they're doing is it's a little unclear to me because as some unpaid internships go, there's not that much like communication. Everybody's doing this on their own time, right? So nobody's like that committed to it. Not to slander anybody, but the idea is that like everybody's busy with their own stuff, so it's hard to like connect and get straight answers. So I think the platform is currently their biggest project is this exoplanetarium, where users can go on and like fly around space and look at what we've discovered as like
That's cool.
you know
That's really
like
cool.
astronomical masses, I guess you can call it. But um, there are multiple products. Currently, that's the biggest one. They're really trying to push that side, and then they're gonna try to push it in mobile as well, which I've done a little bit of work with. Um, but ultimately, the platform is just for people to learn about space. Think of it that way. Start there, and then I go back to like, okay, we're not just looking at planets. We're not just looking at stars. We're not looking at like nebulas and gases and stuff. We're looking at specifically currently exoplanets, which are like subplanets, I think. I don't know myself, which I'll probably ask them about, and
Yeah.
because these guys are like apparently space nerds, which great. I
Yeah.
love space,
Hell yeah.
but they don't have a. I don't think they have an astrophysics background. I don't think any of them do. They just like it, so that's great.
Cool.
Yeah. So we'll see if they come in and hopefully they can come in on with no problems. They did suggest Zoom, and I was thinking we do want to do it on Zoom just 'cause it's easier for everybody. Um,
Is it?
but I do want to
I mean,
introduce
yeah.
them to this platform.
Everybody has.
It Yeah, it's easier because everybody has it. I
Right.
think
Right.
everybody's used to how it works, and in this case, you have to build an avatar or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
So
Just yeah.
little issues here. Yeah.
Yeah. I wish their default avatars on this look better.
Is it just randomized?
I think it's like I don't know. Either randomized or like basic naked.
Really? You can do it naked?
I don't
Okay.
know.
Sick.
Like no. Yeah, maybe it's just basic. I don't know. But
Yeah.
oh yeah, I sent that link in the Discord about Jared Spool.
Who's that?
So he's a pretty, pretty famous UX designer.
Mm-hmm.
He's a thought leader in our industry. And he created I don't know if he created it or it's hosted on another type of website, but created Leaders of Awesomeness.
Leaders of awesomeness. What does that mean?
I think exactly how it sounds. We are awesome. We make awesomeness, and we are the leaders of awesomeness. But
Okay.
it's a UX community, and they have a pretty large following. I mean, he like I said, he is a pretty famous UX designer. But
Yep.
he's been streaming on Zoom. This is why I bring it up. Every Monday, and he's just it's more of him just talking. It's more like lecturing type
Mm-hmm.
content, which is fine because again, he's Jared Spool. Uh, uh, and then he does Q&A, right, where
Yep.
the moderator, that's like the admin of the Zoom chat, will give will allow some people to come off mic or off camera and they can talk to him and stuff like that, which is really
Yep.
cool. But um, something I thought we do too.
Yep. Yeah.
But yeah, you should check it out. Definitely sign up for that Leaders of Awesomeness website.
Leaders of awesomeness.
uh,
That's such a cool name. All right, I'll check it out.
Cool.
Oh, you know what's happened today? So I was sending out applications, right? There was I also hate how LinkedIn does this sometimes when you like type in a specific search keyword and it doesn't give you the thing itself at all. Like I'm hitting UX designer Boston, right?
Yeah.
And it gives me store manager, this interior designer, freaking operations manager. I'm like, what is this? I look at the keywords, it's all there. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll look through it, right? Just because who knows? There's something called a travel designer. And I was like, what is that?
Yeah, what is that? Travel designer? I mean,
And then yeah.
okay.
So I was like, okay, cool. Looked at the experience, looked at the listing and the details, and it's like, do you love curating great experiences? Like, okay, kinda, right? Like, none of it is the same as what I'm used to seeing for UX. And so I was like, sure, I'll just send it out. I put the application, sent it out. Instantly hits back with like, hey, we saw your resume, we think you're a good fit. I'm like, suspicious. Cool. All right, I'll keep going though. Uh, and then they're like, join this webinar information session, whatever. And I was like, sure, what's the worst that could happen, right? Somebody tried to pitch a pyramid scheme to me, right? Turns out it's just basically like they're reverting to what's the word? Do you remember back in the day before Kayak and all those platforms came around?
Mhm.
You would have these like travel agencies and you talk to them to book stuff, right? Like book flights, book hotels, book your trip. All that stuff is like planned out by you, like talk to these people to do that.
Mhm.
This is basically that.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? Because and I couldn't exactly figure out how these guys like like worked with this, I don't know, like traveling stuff because a lot of their clients were like cruise ships.
Mm.
And I was like, does that mean that we help cruise ships design travel plans? Is that the client? Or do we help
You
like traveler people
or
get on a cruise ship? I don't know.
travel agents put packages.
Right. Right. It could be, to be honest, it could be like I know a mom and pop shop in the Caribbeans. Let's get you guys to get like a package deal to these 600 people who are coming from this cruise ship. Let's connect the two. And it's not on your standard Caribbean island, whatever, like you would ever goes to Cuba or Puerto Rico. It's on this little island off of South America. Something like that. Maybe that's what it is.
Mhm.
I have no idea.
Hmm.
And it was all remote work. I was like, sure, I'll just check it out. But when she said that, I don't know what exactly she said. She was just like thinking about you help people book their trips. I was like, closed. Instantly left. Like I'm done. Not about it.
Send me the link and information for that because I do have a friend that would be perfect for. Yeah,
Really?
he was in my UX
Okay.
design cohort, but like
Okay.
he did this freelancing
Yeah.
talking about for fun. And I don't know what he's doing.
Okay.
I'll send it his way.
Sure. Throw it over. I might drop it in the chat too,
Uh,
just because
you throw it
it's
into
the worst that could happen.
the Discord.
Yeah. I'll throw it. You want me to throw it in Discord? I was gonna toss it into the Twitch chat too, in case anybody
It's
wants
just
to
my
ever look it up.
on the Mac. I'll be able to go on.
Yep. Yep. Okay. So let me see. What do I find what I did?
Oh, I told my partner too about the Monster app. That was pretty funny.
Yeah. Did you like it?
Yeah.
Great. Excellent. Excellent. We could get started on it too, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we can give it like another. We can just chat for like another 5 minutes. Time.
Yep. Yeah, he said he threw it in the Slack. He said that he's coming in. Well, that was
Oh,
a few
okay.
minutes ago, but he said
Oh,
I'll be
okay.
in on
Yeah, yeah,
6 minutes,
yeah. Yeah.
so he'll be here. Uh, yeah, I'm kind of thinking about this, like uh, the source of designers. Like, I think that's actually a great service we can provide. Um, I would have to get a little bit more experience interviewing and getting interviewed by hiring managers, right? Like, because teams, I assume, are looking for very specific stuff. I don't know what they might be looking for. I don't have experience in SAS. I don't have experience in B2B, e-commerce, none of that experience. I don't have enough of that, I think. So therefore, like, in order to hire somebody who has that kind of experience, they're looking for very specific things. I don't know. If they just have experience, like if they demonstrate that they have it in their portfolio, that's good enough for me, but I don't know what it really
I
entails.
think my opinion and something my PM told me when she hired me is because I was junior,
Yep.
and a lot of things can be taught, right? Like, you know, a lot of things can be taught on the job. What they're looking for is your ability to learn and how you're going to fit into the work culture, I guess.
Yep.
So, like, do you have enough adequate skills to, know, manage manage the job at base level,
Yeah.
right? Like your organization skills, your documentation skills, your communication
Yep.
skills,
Yep.
all those base things, right? Like, yeah, they're not going to teach you that. That's just stuff you have to pick up along the way.
Yeah.
Are those intact, and are you, I don't know, cool person, right? Like,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
matches her
And
attitude.
wait, so then I mean, like first, yeah, we have to suss that stuff out, and hopefully we asked about these things. But like, if they're a cool person, we're still the first gatekeepers, right? Like, I don't want to be like, hey, you've got all the qualifications, but you're a terrible, terrible human being, right?
I'm gonna go get Matt.
Oh,
Or
yeah,
if
I'll
you
go get him
okay.
with him.
Cool. Yeah, we had a really good idea for helping junior designers do some mock interviews and then recording those mock interviews and then showcasing them to recruiters and companies. Which now that like we're spitballing the idea, I got to do some competitive analysis to see if anything like that kind of exists in any form, which I kind of feel it must in some form. But I think it'd make a really good programming segment on this stream to run mock interviews with recruiters and then kind of market that content in and of itself to companies and recruiters. So it's kind of like, recruiters would be able to, I guess, save time through like the whole scheduling process to just be able to see somebody run through somewhat of how they would conduct their own interview. So, more to come. Yeah, I was really excited about that. It was just Larry and I spitballing before we started streaming. Brainstorming sesh. Not sponsored by.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing? Going up to the
So
conference?
Matt, I'm gonna bring you
Good,
into
thanks. How are
our
you?
Good, good, good.
meeting room.
Okay.
So just to preface what this is, this platform is basically like a virtual office. Like you like control little characters and run around. And if you actually walked away far enough from me, you'll stop talking. So like if I left, our conversation, it would just stop the connection. So in a way, this like mimics what real life meetings would be like in the virtual space. So that's it.
Okay.
And you can kind of run around and do stuff if you want to. Um, on your keyboard, like I said, if you use your arrow keys, you'll be able to move your little character around, and you can interact with things if you'd like.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's it. But for now, we can just kind of jump into it. So Matt, meet John. John,
How you doing?
Matt is the founder, right? Founder of Space Lab.
That's
Um,
correct. Yes.
Great. So this is actually your original, like this is your child. You were the one who thought of it as like, hey, I have this great idea. Let's make it happen.
Yeah. So it was. So I don't think that's an accurate way to describe it. I'd say that I'm a co-founder. So back. Sorry, you asked me a specific question. So the answer is there were two other people named Ollie and John. They were classmates of mine, and we I started doing this project with a data science project to discover exoplanets, so planets around stars that are not our sun, and using data from NASA to do this. And then I reached out to some people at NASA because I wanted to name a planet after my partner. And I was really
Nice.
fortunate. They actually responded to me, like on LinkedIn. And so anyway, they told me that you know, I couldn't really name a planet until I published a paper, essentially. And so they introduced me to somebody like with a PhD.
Mhm.
And so then I reached out to two of the students I went to school with at the community college, Ollie Jackson and John Zivku, and I asked them if they had any interest because Ollie is an astrophysics major, and they're super interested in astrophysics, and they were learning Python at the time. And then John had just graduated with their bachelor's in computer science. And so, yeah, John suggested a 3D application that you could actually like click and drag around, something like with WebGL. So you could
Mhm.
actually see these worlds. And, you know, from there, it kind of grew. And as we brought people on, designers and then developers and then more engineers and then more non-engineers to be staff writers and marketing people, we realized this thing was going to really have a life of its own.
Yeah.
And so I thought, why don't we incorporate as a nonprofit to not only be able to fund the software like the AWS bills on this thing, but also to be able to give back. And hopefully if we can get enough grant money and enough corporate sponsorship and donations, we'll be able to pay our interns. That's the goal, is so that we
Mhm.
can help folks who whether they didn't have the financial means or they didn't have um, the role models and the examples to follow in these steps. They'll be able to practice these skills, practice their tech skills in a cross-functional team and get paid for it, as opposed to having to take the choice of working a part-time job and a full-time job, or just not working at all, which is not sustainable for most
Yeah.
people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Sure.
So you came from the idea that, hey, I've discovered this thing, and let's try to do this little thing of like naming a planet, and then you've somehow ended up in creating a platform in a way.
Well, Larry, I want to be really clear here. I'm not Christopher Columbus. I didn't walk in and say I've done all this. I did.
Sure. Yeah.
NASA, people, postdocs, NASA fellows created these models. The work I was doing was part of boot camp. I know a lot of folks have gone to General Assembly, um, you know, Quantum Code Dojo, App Academy, and I also did. I went to General Assembly's data science program. So like the leading the horse to water kind of thing. I was just the horse. I wasn't the leader, and I was doing these models. So I didn't like discover this way to do it.
Is your
I guess
your co-founders from General Assembly as well?
no. So John and Ollie, they both went to community college with me at
Okay.
Cabrillo College in Santa Cruz, and John went on to actually. I think both Ollie and John both went to UCSC,
Nice.
University of California, Santa Cruz, after Cabrillo. I got my bachelor's degree in English a long time ago at the University of New Hampshire. So,
Okay.
Nice.
I've been there.
yeah,
Oh yeah, both
but
myself and John are out in Boston, so we know
right
the area
on.
in
Yeah.
New Hampshire.
Yeah,
Very
I did
cool. I was born in Melrose. What's
okay.
that, John?
Yeah, I'm in Watertown. I did General Assembly's UX design course. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Okay, nice.
Cool. Yeah, so Matt, as you've started doing this, like you decided to turn it into some sort of the website does say you're kind of like a human incubator to like help people develop skills. How did you come across like that was how you wanted to take it, as opposed to let's make this into an actual startup and actually like bring people on to hire and say, I need to hire these people, so let's make some revenue, and so on and so forth. Where like instead of turning it into an actual company, you decided to make it into something that's like a give and take kind of platform, I guess.
Yeah. Um, so there were a couple reasons for that. I think the biggest reason was that I didn't see a way to quickly monetize this application. And I didn't want to have a bunch of venture capitalists come in and
Mm.
tell me what to do. I mean, the what I saw for the Space Lab is, as a people incubator was a way that, people could do really cool stuff. And there's this exoplanetarian project. There'll be future projects. Maybe it's generative AI, maybe it's something else like a space traffic control, but like something cool and fun that people can do. Maybe it's robots. And through that, they'll be able to get really high paying jobs in the future. So I want our headcount to grow. I want us to go through, 150 people a year coming in and out, and 130 or 40 participants and another 10 or 12, 15 maybe full-time staff who facilitate this to happen. And I want to do this, using grants and corporate sponsorships and fundraising,
Yeah.
because I truly believe that we would be able to, help people to get greater careers. But I don't know if the little applications we build are going to be some $1 billion idea that Sand Hill Road's going to just pour a bunch of money into.
You never know.
Um,
I think
Maybe, but I feel like one of the things that I really want to do is try to change try to change things that I would like to change in the tech industry by empowering people.
yeah.
So when I got my first job in tech, I didn't realize it was a tech job. I thought I was working at a wine company. Happens to be a tech startup. A lot of the people in that building, looked like me. And, as I, move into other tech roles, I'm in a room with almost all men. And,
Mm,
I'm wondering, like, there are lots of women, there are lots of people of color, there are lots of people from the LGBTQ plus community who are studying STEM and who are very good and talented in these things. And so I'd like to create a way to maybe a conduit for folks to have more representation in leadership
I see.
and in engineering roles and in STEM roles, to be able to have younger people who might not be studying engineering or physics to pick up, those things because they see themselves in people who are leaders or people.
Oh no.
Did you lose me? Am I
Just
here?
A little.
slight
Oh yeah.
slight lag, but you're back.
Yeah. Great.
Okay.
Awesome. Welcome back.
Yeah,
um,
thank you.
that's actually really cool to think
Yeah.
about. Like, not only were you saying, let's make this little project, the thing that I not okay, yeah, you didn't sure come up with it, but like this little thing that I have, right? Let's not only make it into a fun project for myself that I'd like to see grow, but also bring in like how can I be a social advocate and like help society in a different way? Because everybody needs to pay bills, unfortunately, right? Like if we didn't have to pay bills, like you could just do this for free and it'd be great. Would you be able to do this full time? Like if you didn't have to pay any bills, right? Like if everything just handed to you, would you jump on this full time?
I mean, sure. Yeah. If I won, I mean, I talk about that, when we buy these Powerball tickets, I'm
Yeah,
like, yeah, all I need is $100 million, and then I have a
Yeah.
foundation that will fund the space lab with our
yeah,
current budget.
that's awesome.
Um, yeah, I would love to. There's certainly enough work that,
Yeah,
a staff of 20 could work 40 hours a week and
yeah,
still serve, all of the participants that are in it now. We could pay them. We
yeah,
could create unpaid opportunities for people, whether they're in high school or college age or career changers or people who are like military spouses, folks that have had to leave their careers, whether they're raising a family or caring for a loved one,
yeah,
people who are doing any number of things to enter this really exciting field. Um, Gosh, yeah, if I had, 100 million, or I guess it's 150 million for a foundational amount that we could just work on the interest of that every year,
yeah,
I would love that. That'd be
yeah,
What
fantastic.
is
yeah.
what's your current business model now? Like, do you have any revenue coming in, or I know you mentioned like grants and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah, that's a great question. So last year, I think we had about $2,000 in small donations.
congrats.
Um, yeah, thank you. And so this fall, we're actually going to turn the engine on and really try to focus more on grants and on corporate sponsorships. And in fact, Scott, are you on the call? I know that you're in the room. I'm not sure if are you with us?
Yep, I'm here.
Right on. So Scott Allison is our head of fundraising. And Scott, would you like to talk a little bit about our goals for being able to fund the business for the winter?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, what we've been kind of working on over the last, man, so like several months, probably 6 months now, is trying to put together a really good a pitch deck for corporate sponsorship. I am from Cincinnati originally and worked in a lot of startups in Cincinnati and have worked with them, and so I kind of developed a really decent network there. I live in Michigan now, unfortunately, so I'm not in it as I used to be. But in Cincinnati, there's a lot of folks there that are really interested in the type of learning that Matt's providing at Space Lab, and so our goal is really kind of to start with some folks that I know and start with networks that I have and start with networks that Matt has and try to work with folks that that are interested in the type of learning and the type of diversity that we're interested in trying to introduce into companies that are lacking. It's and so we put a great pitch deck together, and we're our goal now is just to slowly grow the network in which we're exposing it to try to get some feedback to make sure that we're on the right track. I think that a lot of folks that are in these startups and the folks that are willing to give money to folks that are trying to do the things that we're trying to do, they have this experiences that are different than mine. I come from I have a political background. I worked on the blue team trying to raise money for political candidates, and that's not the same as doing startup work. And I think we're all certainly well aware of the background differences that we're coming from, but we come from a place of passion for the project that Matt's put together here. And
Yeah.
what we're really trying to do is get feedback from folks that are interested in what we're doing, and hopefully make some great impressions along the way, and hopefully raise a little bit of money. I mean, the goal is to fund folks. We have
Yep.
what Matt has kind of talked around but not directly addressed is this is fully functioning right now. All of these people are working. People are working every single semester. And Matt, if I missed that part, I apologize. I came in a little bit late. But these people are there. They're working now, and this financial barrier isn't fair to folks that really need it. And just like anything, there should not be a barrier to education and learning, and that's a little bit about what we're trying to overcome here. And I think people are really receptive to that idea. We just have to figure out a way to talk about it the right way.
Sounds
How did I'm so sorry, Larry. How did you guys raise the $2,000? Was it with a crowdfunding platform or was it just friends and family?
So I used social media, who they're not paying me, so I'm not going to name them, but there were some social media platforms that I posted on, and I just asked people, hey, this is what we're doing. And like Scott mentioned, we've had to this point, it's been about 200 participants in the
Wow.
last 2.5 years. And at that point, it was whatever, 100, 150. And I said, we've had these many people. At that point, by the end of last year, we already had one person on our team who was working with Microsoft. Now we have two. We had two people who are now at Google, one at IBM. And so, I talked about how we've had success with people practicing their skills and moving on. And I'm not trying to take credit for those skills. I mean, they didn't get into those positions because of us,
Right.
but we were able to be part of their journey to get there, and they were able to, learn from people around them and to mentor people as well. And so we do want to be able to continue that. And so in order to, first of all, keep AWS on, that bill is, now that we're really doing more AI work and more development work, it's getting up there closer to like $500 to $1,000 a month.
Wow.
Last year, at this point, it was still over like $200 a month at the end of the year. So I was asking people to chip in $100 here, even if you get $10. And
Yeah.
some people gave like 25. Many people gave 100. Some people gave 500.
Wow.
So
And directly to you,
Yeah.
no like Kickstarter or Indiegogo or GoFundMe, like
that's right. Yeah, they donated. So we have a donate button on our page at
yeah,
spacelab.space.
that makes sense.
Um,
That's beautiful.
Yeah, and it's a conduit to a PayPal account so that we don't have to be responsible for the cybersecurity
Nice.
or the payment gateway of all that information. We want to make sure that it's as secure as possible so that, even if it costs $1 here and there for the cost to PayPal for that security, I think it's worth it both for our participants and for
Yeah.
our patrons.
Awesome.
so I agree. I actually want to dig a little bit deeper into what Scott was saying about the pitch deck. Most of us actually kind of understand how pitch decks work for like investors and trying to get people to pay us to like we generate revenue, et cetera, et cetera. So we just need investors. What's the mental shift in trying to pitch to a foundation, right? Like you can't, we're not Space Lab isn't a revenue generating thing, and you were mentioning before that currently there's no great way to monetize it, and so like how do you pitch this entity to a thing that's not going to see some money out of it.
Yeah, so I'll give a short answer and then I'll pass it on to Scott for a little more like robust answer there. The short answer is we are asking a corporation to donate the same way as I would ask one of you. Do you see value in what we're doing? And do you believe in what we're doing? And do you think you'd like to help to make that happen? And then, of course, with a big corporation, they might also see value for themselves if we are giving people the same transferable skills that they need. But Scott, would you have a more robust way to answer that question?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think the crux of your question, Larry, is it comes down to, what's the problem, right? Whenever you look at a pitch deck for a startup that you're monetizing, right? It's like, you go to a corporation and say, I have a problem that I'm going to solve for you, right? And that's what you want to say. And so what we're trying to say is we think that companies in general have a groupthink problem where the backgrounds of folks that are coming into their corporate environments are all coming from the same backgrounds.
Yep.
And what we're trying to provide at Space Lab is just something different, right? Something a different perspective. People coming from diverse communities, different backgrounds, and they're going to come in with a different set of skills and different set of minds, well, the same skills. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't put it that way, but a different mindset of how to approach a problem, right? And introducing that into a room is automatically going to create more discussion. The group think is not going to be the same. You're going to create variables that are going to create better solutions to whatever problems that they have before them. So our goal is really just to talk to folks and say, if you want to bring in the idea of being a step ahead and bring in folks with different thoughts is probably going to give folks an advantage that other corporations don't have that haven't broken out of that group thing. So that's part of it. The other part of it is too, exactly what Matt was saying. These, the folks that the communities we're trying to serve, the folks we're trying to serve are underserved communities in general. And, that is a worthy cause to help. And that is a worthy cause to put your money behind. And at the end of the day, if it helps make you money in the long run anyway, that's wonderful. That shouldn't be the driver of it. The driver should be to help people that need it and to give people opportunities they wouldn't have otherwise, because that's why we're all here. I mean, I think everybody involved in Space Lab has had someone or had some opportunity be given to us that we might not have had otherwise because someone decided to help. And not everything, not every decision in a corporate America can be about money. It shouldn't be. I know it mostly is, but at the same time, we want to introduce a little bit of help out there too.
Yeah. I was just saying, it's very hard. I mean, personally, it's hard to me to like switch into that mindset, like for this greater good. Like I still have to think like, what's the incentive for a corporation to do this or a foundation? But yeah, I agree. Like pushing this other thing, like, hey, we can be better. We don't have to be, wrapped around this dollar bill constantly. And I think I really appreciate how Space Lab is able to, taking that on. And again, it's win-win everywhere, right? We get a project like I'm on the team as a UX designer, helping with some of the parts. So I get experience here. You guys get, hopefully good designs from me, and then, foundations can say, hey, we're supporting this. And the incentive from their side is like, hey, you know what? We do good things, I guess.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and one of our other advisors recently pointed out that this could also become a corporate ROI type of thing too, because with the political climate in the United States at this time, and I think in other countries, but I know the United States, there are pushes in advertising to show how a company is investing in social change and social justice. And there are companies who would be very excited to talk about how they are, donating X millions of dollars to organizations like the Space Lab or, Girls Who Code, and trying to help, promote people who have historically been overlooked or been underrepresented or been, underserved.
Yeah. I guess, I mean, kind of going on this vein too, like, have you tried to like pitch to Google, let's say, hey, Google, we're a source of diversity. Can you, just think of it that way? Like yes, we are, like you said, a people incubator, and then maybe Google could say, hey, we're looking for some diversity too. We'd like to get out of this groupthink mindset. Let's pay Space Lab to incubate the people that we need. Maybe not train or anything, but like we can trust Space Lab as a source of people. It's like, does that seem like something that might be feasible here?
I mean, that's definitely something we'd like to do.
Mm.
We would like to pitch a lot of other companies first before we get in a room. But I mean, don't get me wrong, the very first time I met Scott and our director of finance and operations, Blair, I told them I wanna meet Mackenzie Scott. I want to meet Belinda Gates. I want
Yeah,
to be sitting in a room with them, asking them for money for our organization.
shameless. It's just like
Yeah.
I need money. Hey, whatever works.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it's yeah.
They
So yeah,
everybody knows what you would be there for. No point beat around.
well, yeah, I mean, they are they're benefactors and they've made it public that they want to be philanthropists and I want to, ask them to help us so that we can help lots of people.
yeah. Have you had an issue? Not an issue, I guess. Like, what's an issue? Like something that you've struggled with in trying to turn Space Lab into this incubator idea? Like it's pretty novel, I would say.
Mhm.
But then like yeah, obviously there's like financial struggles and stuff like that. But what is there any other issues that's come up as you like come down this road?
So there's only two really. And the first one is time,
Mhm.
because I don't have a lot of it. I do work a full-time job, and a lot of our participants either have a full-time job or are full-time looking for work. And so what that means is that we don't ask anybody to give more than 10 hours a week.
Mhm.
Sometimes I have to because otherwise the thing doesn't work.
Like,
But sometimes I don't have 10 hours in a week. Sometimes I don't have six. So it makes it really challenging to give everybody the sense that they have a fulfilling set of assignments or a fulfilling goal that they can work toward, that they have the opportunity to get there, and that we have enough people. That brings me to the second point, and that is recruiters don't like to volunteer. And don't get me wrong, recruiters do like to volunteer, but recruiters don't like to volunteer to be a recruiter.
uh,
And I don't blame them. I
Interesting.
used to be a salesman. I would not volunteer to do sales because the whole thing is every minute you spend, you should be trying to make money. And recruiting is the same, and I understand that.
Hmm.
So that means that I have to do a lot more recruiting myself. This last year, I've had a lot of success in asking the team leads to recruit for their team,
mhm.
and they've done a fantastic job at that, at filling the rosters. But the hard thing is finding people that want to be team leads, want to be like right now. I've been an acting technical program director. Again, cuts into time was me being the executive director and doing everything else that I do. And so I need to find somebody who's a technical program director who has experience with agile, who has experience with project management, preferably with managing people. I'd like to find somebody who's trying to get more practice. So, resume wise, I don't necessarily need to see 10 years of experience in management. That's not why we're here, because I want everybody who's participating to be a participant, not just a full-time worker. But it's really challenging without a budget to find somebody who has that caliber to say, hey, can you volunteer for 6 to 9 months
Yeah.
and come in and be inspirational and bring your own ideas and have your own people maybe do some recruitment and put together these project boards. So those are the two hard things. It's time and it's recruitment.
Yeah. So your like your primary asset, I guess, is the people, and that's I don't know. That I can't even imagine how hard it is to get people to stay, and like you're actively trying to get them out, right? Like that's kind of what the point of this is. And so like that's
Mhm.
counterintuitive to a business model. Like you're trying to bring people on to kick them out in a way. You
That's
can't I
right.
don't know. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
the problem that I want to have that we won't have until we have money. The problem that I want to have is that I need to tell somebody, okay, it's been X amount of trimesters. We can't pay you anymore because somebody else needs this opportunity.
Mhm.
And that's at once, like it's the problem that I want to have because that means people want to stay here because they're awesome, exciting things. But I
Yeah.
also don't want to have it because I want this person by their second trimester to be like, I've got like 4 job offers. Uh,
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
know,
Yeah. That must be pretty hard. I mean, again, kind of going back into it unfortunately it does kind of go back to money where like you have to get the right person in that's got the incentives to stay and work. and then also got the right people to like want to be leaving and to like you want to use you as a springboard to get out. Yeah,
Exactly.
that's a challenge. Um,
Yeah. What I've been trying to do is every time I interview somebody, you know, I'm interviewing for a person because the skills on their resume, I believe you.
Mhm.
I'm not, we don't have any money, so it's not like if you tell me that you have these skills and you're lying, you're gonna get money for free.
Yeah.
That's not a situation. So if you tell me you have these skills, that's fine. I'm not gonna give you a coding test. But what I am gonna do is, you know, try to figure out and assess as much as I can. Are you somebody that I would want to share an office with if we had a physical location? And if you are not, then I'm probably not going to bring you on board.
Mhm.
But if you are, if I think you're going to be a good coworker, if I think you're going to try to lift up the people around you, then I'm probably going to ask you to stay. And then thing is I'm going to give you the decision. I'm going to make you call me back. I had some people at the very beginning, and maybe it's because I was a salesman in my prior career, but they're like, "Oh, this sounds great. This sounds awesome." And then on week 2, they're like, "Oh, can't make it." And then on
Mhm.
week 3, they just disappear. So I
Yep.
explain, look, if you want to do this, this is an unpaid position. And this has to be something that you want to do because you think, a little selfishly, you're going to benefit from it.
Yep.
You need to find that because we're not paying anyone. And so if you want to be here for the next however many weeks, whether it's a 6-week period or it's a whole trimester at 12 weeks, if you want to do this, you're going to need to do this every week for the next, like, you know, for like 6 or 10 hours. Otherwise, the people around you lose out because this is all about having cross-functional teams, and you are that team.
Yeah.
So if you think you can benefit, if you think that there's something here that can make you better, that can help your career, then I want you here. But you're gonna have to tell me tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
That's great. I mean, just the concept is still like still continues to blow my mind that like you've kind of put yourself into this place where do you think that you're the only one or like very few companies that do this, the same thing what you guys are trying to achieve here? So I haven't seen it myself, but and everybody's kind of like I offer free internships, but they're just looking for free labor, right? And you're the one who's
right.
pitching it from the perspective of like we want you to gain something out of it, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. It's not something I've heard before.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm sure I believe that, you know, that there's no singular idea in humanity, but I don't know any other place that is
Yeah.
doing exactly what we're doing.
Mhm. And yeah, so I guess in that case, how did you realize this was something that you could use? Would you just see it yourself? Just like, hey, you know what? Let's, pick this angle, this diversity angle.
Well, I wouldn't call diversity an angle.
Mm,
So from a people incubator standpoint, I saw this because it worked for me. You know, I was an early career tech professional. I had changed from being in sales, and I was a sales director at like a wine startup. I was in charge of. It started out as 6 people as my first ever management job, and then I grew that team to over 50. Well, to just under 50 people, excuse me, but in 2 countries, with 4 managers who reported to me. Numbers wise, I did great. Management wise, I did bad. It was a bad situation. It was a good learning experience.
yeah.
I wish I had sought out more information and mentors on leadership and on being better at leadership, not just management. We did great numbers. They sold that company for $100 million, but it was a good learning experience for me. Um, I changed into computer science because what I enjoyed most about that job, probably because what I enjoyed most was creating data dashboards and doing data work. And so I wanted to go to school and learn how to code. I went back to school in my mid 30s. I went to get a 2-year degree. I got a 4-year bachelor degree way back when in English, but
Yep.
I got a 2-year degree in computer science, an associate's degree. And then when the pandemic hit, I was actually fortunate because I had no job, but I was getting unemployment. It allowed me to take the boot camp because I wouldn't
Nice.
have had time or the way to feed myself otherwise.
Yeah.
So the Space Labs as a side project to start with gave me the opportunity to practice what I was doing. It also gave me the opportunity to practice leadership. It gave me the
Yeah.
opportunity to practice project management. And as I saw people getting interested and wanting to do more with this, that lended itself to holy cow, I couldn't have gotten the jobs that I have right now. I work for an aerospace company. I wouldn't have had this job if it wasn't for Space Lab. You know, I actually met somebody who worked at JPL NASA and asked me to interview with them for that because of, or just before Space Lab started,
Yeah,
and has
wow.
kept in contact with me ever since. And so, you know, on that point, I saw that as something that obviously it works for me, maybe it'll work for other people, and it has, and it just kept
Mhm.
working. And it was like before I knew it, I was already saying this pitch over and over again, not
Yeah,
even realizing I was trying.
yeah, yeah.
On the diversity side, that wasn't just something that accidentally happened. You know, this whole thing came about in the summer of 2021, really. And so we were a year after George Floyd. We were a year
Mhm,
after Breonna Taylor,
mhm,
and the marches in 2020, and the changing world and environment. My partner happens to be a union rep and a very outspoken feminist. And, you know, that's also not an accident, you know, and um, it was, she's also very inspiring
yeah,
for me. And so when I started thinking about ways to make this a nonprofit because we needed money to run the AWS,
yeah,
it was in a snap. I thought, well, if we're going to have an organization,
yeah,
we should do something socially. We should do some social good with it. And that naturally led me to say, well, what do I want to change? What would I like to change in the world? I think that there are people all over the world who are kept from jobs that would allow them a better and more comfortable life. And they're kept from there because of systemic history, whether that's in the US or in other countries that have caste systems or other systems that other people and separate them. And I said, well, why can't we create a way? We're not going to help millions of people at once. We can only handle so many. But maybe if we can have some people come from the Space Lab and go on to work at places like Google or Microsoft, and then we promote them. We sing their praises. We promote them not like a job geek, but like a marketer promotes people.
yeah, yeah,
And you know, we do interviews with them. I'd like to get Dr. Cyan Proctor, the first Black woman to pilot a spacecraft. I'd love to get an interview with her and have her speak with some of our Space Lab success stories. You know, she's a professor at a community college as well, or at least she was, I think, and now I think she's probably at a more larger school. But the point is that that kind of promotion, that kind of awareness, that representation, I think can help young people
yeah,
who might not have known anybody who worked in STEM, you know, might not have seen it that as an opportunity. I know when I was a kid, I come from a fairly well-off middle-class family in New Hampshire. My dad was a salesman. My mom was a waitress.
mhm,
And, you know, the luck of the economy of the, you know, of the 80s, buying a house and having it double in value, like has actually happened in the early 2000s as well. That allowed us to live with a bunch of C-level people. But I never like had the person hold me by the hand and say, "This is what you need to do in college." And that's why I didn't get a degree in engineering. I got a degree in English.
yep,
But even that, so if I can create ways for more people who come from disparate backgrounds, different levels of everything, and have them see themselves represented um, in an inspiring way, then I think we can help a lot more people than just the 200 people that have participated in the Space Labs.
yeah. That sounds amazing again.
Do
Have you it
oh, please go.
sorry, John, yeah.
Okay. Is there any planning to so everybody that kind of volunteers works on the Space Lab project uh is kind of where you're seeing like the business going for yourself? Is it build up Space Labs continuously, or are you kind of looking at as you want to diversify and bring on other projects as as you get more people in your people incubator?
You know, John, I hadn't actually thought about diversifying into other like specialties besides outer space projects. But I really love that idea. I think it's a
Uh,
great idea. Um, what what I kind of was looking at for, you know, more of a 5 to 10 year plan is that as we build this thing up and as we do get those continuing grants and those corporate sponsorships, that, you know, I finally nominate a CEO and they would be then approved by our board of directors, where I sit as president of the board. And this CEO would then take over and they would hire their own management team and they would hire their own recruiter, and their vision would then take on I would stay on as president because I would ideally want to keep, a 5 to 10 year continuity where the vision holds. But I would want to move away from that as quick as possible. I really want the people who are running the organization to also embody the mission of the organization. So I understand it's problematic for a middle-aged white guy in the United States to be leading this DEIB focused organization. You know, so that was kind of my game plan. And the hope is that along the way, we do have a sustaining pipeline of recruiters, that we have outreach in places like, Watsonville, California. There's a company called Digital Nest, and they're a nonprofit that works with the children of immigrant farm workers who live right next to Silicon Valley, but they hadn't been learning software
Yeah.
or hardware. And this group, Digital Nest, is teaching these young Latinx students from middle school and high school age, and they're working with them. And then by the time they get to college age, they're able to place them either into entry level jobs or into internships. I would love a partnership with Space Lab and Digital Nest, or Code with Her, which is a San Diego-based nonprofit that works with middle school-aged girls and teaches them how to code, so that by the time they get to high school, they at least have the coding skills, and maybe they have more interest in STEM, so that there's more engineers out there. Or another one, heridea.org, Her Idea SF in San Francisco, which our treasurer, Anna Bukareva, founded, where young women from high school age and early college age are creating companies, and they're pitching ideas, and they're asking investors for money, and they're earning 25,000, 10,000, to fund their new ideas and projects. I'd love to partner with these organizations and have a continuing pipeline of people coming into the Space Lab, so that we can not only, you know, promote our ideas, but promote those people and keep things moving out.
Yeah, I actually was just about to ask if you're trying to bring exposure of STEM to communities and like just in general. And I was about to ask if you had any incentive to or any ideas about starting with like younger students, before you get to high school, trying to get that kind of exposure and get that, get them starting to think, oh, hey, this is a field I might want to try out because currently Space Lab takes people who have experience, right? You have to first look at people who have resumes experience with like in this field and then take them on and then use that springboard. But currently there's no way to like, hey, you know what, let's start with exposure to elementary school kids, get interested in space, get them thinking about STEM in their future. I don't know, but that sounds great. Like you're already planning to do that. Do you feel like maybe you might want to try something on your own too, like, hey, exoplanetarium, the project you guys are working on now, uh sounds like a great toy for somebody in elementary school. It's like, hey, I can learn about planets, like this is a thing out there. Like I don't know if you've considered that.
Yeah, I mean, I've thought about, not for myself, but for the Space Lab. I thought about if we could sell that as its own standalone product. Maybe that's the ticket to having that $100 million foundation. Maybe not the whole
Mhm.
100 million. Probably couldn't do that unless we create a following. But Naked Wines was able to do it because they had 250,000 members worldwide who were giving $20 a month. If we can generate that kind of a monthly subscription from different educational institutions around the country, which is unlikely because of the way things are mostly understood to be free now, unless with advertising. But who knows? There could be something there. There could be somebody on Sand Hill Road who has an idea there, and then that could benefit the folks. Something for me on my own. I mean, I don't know. I think about different ideas, whether
Yeah.
they're space related or not space related. But at this point, I recently started working at a company that builds satellites for outer space. So my my entrepreneurial hat, I guess, is just firmly on the Space Lab, and I'm not really thinking about other projects at this time.
Nice. That's amazing. The one of the reasons why we brought you on, again, of course, like a lot of the stuff you're doing is great. We are trying to think of, some other entrepreneurial ideas, like learning from what you've gone through and learning how you've gotten there. We're currently trying to figure out if we can turn this into something similar. So I think John and I are thinking about maybe getting designers on here and then looking at that And again, just kind of going about this like money thing, right? I was trying to think of what kind of a service can we provide to companies and how can we sell what we are doing here. Of course, it's great to learn from everybody and be informational. Like we started this trying to get viewers to learn about UX design and getting them to practice it and see how it works in like the real world. But it doesn't seem monetizable, right? And so seeing how you've approached your problem, we're thinking of something similar, I guess. And how do we turn this into something that can be self-sustaining, I guess, is the better way to put it, instead of just constantly worrying about this cash flow. So it's been great
Gotcha.
to talk, I think.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, definitely seen
Have
a lot
you
of
have you
definitely seen like a lot of similarities in what you're doing. But yeah, what our mission was as well.
That's really cool. Have you looked out to other people that do broadcasting or podcasting
Oh yeah.
or, you know, live streams?
Yeah. Like Larry was saying, like a big thing we were trying to do is showcase the process. Like that's something I noticed in my own journey of like there's tutorials, there's podcasts and type of panel talks, but I want to see people do the work. Like I want to see the nitty gritty, the failures, the successes, the tools people use, the methods, the lingo. Like I'm sure coming from sales, there's like a whole language you talk amongst your department and your people, acronyms that like would leave me confused. Yes, showing that that type of process, I thought for myself would be inspiring and informative if I was a viewer, right? So I was, we're designing something that would solve our own problems, um, and then running on that, and then something you're doing. So there's a company out here called Hack Diversity, similar to what I
Okay.
think I forget the name of the something Nest that you were talking about in near Silicon Valley. Um,
Digital Nest, yeah.
Digital Nest, yes, they teach hack.diversity out here in Boston. Fantastic company. But yeah, they
Yeah.
teach tech skills to underserved people and communities. And I was looking to contact them and see if we can get some of those folks over here and help work. So what our kind of process was is we would find early stage startups and nonprofits that need work done, need a simple solution to a singular problem, and then we would find designers and developers to solve that problem live on the stream. Everybody's a winner. We get content, the designers, developers get experience, and the startups and nonprofits get free work, pro bono work, right? So I actually talked to somebody, one of the board of directors, people of venture capitalists for Hack Diversity. I was like, oh, hey, I would love for some people to come volunteer. He paused for a very long time. That was extremely awkward because he was trying to find his words to be nice to me. And he said, I would be careful about asking people of color to volunteer their time for you. I was like, oh, right. Like their time is valuable. You should pay them. Like to your point. So that's why I'm really resonating with what you're trying to do. And also something, I was talking to Larry before the stream started of like, I want money. So not for myself, but so I can pay people to do these things on the stream and we can produce content. So yeah, I'm in a similar boat, or we're in a similar boat of like, how can we help everybody? How can we make everybody a winner,
Yeah,
right? Like,
Exactly.
and yeah, I'm currently trying to figure that out. I was gonna two things, just two notes. I'm sure you must have, because you kind of mentioned it of like having, educational institutes and institutes of corporate to like donate monthly. Is Patreon, Scott? Is like Patreon in the works? Because that kind of, it's an ability to put yourself out there with people coming to you instead of having to knock on every door.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly something we've considered. I think it's Patreon in general. I think is serves a different type of market than I think the one we're kind of going after. But that's not something that like it's certainly something that has crossed my mind for sure.
Yeah.
I think things more along the line of like, I think Larry, you mentioned earlier, GoFundMe or something like that. I think is more in line with the type of things that we're talking about.
Mhm.
There are several, anything that's more closely aligned with charitable donations, right? So there is a division of Act Blue, which is a political fundraising tool that I think it's called Everyday Action or something
Yeah,
like that.
I think I've heard of.
It's don't quote me on that, but it's something similar to that. But it's strictly for nonprofits, nonpartisan nonprofits.
Mhm.
That I think is kind of more along the lines of what we would probably try to do, only because to be clear, my experience with Patreon is very limited, but it's more, most people associate it more with, individual content creators and streamers
That's what I was
and
just
stuff
about
like
to say.
that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like
And it's just a little
Larry
bit
and I are
different.
content creators, so I think that aligns. But yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, and to that point, in the first year and a half, we actually had a pretty active blog team that were creating blogs to put out. And then last year we had our first podcast, and our podcast team has developed a podcast page. And I hear that we actually might have podcasts in the near future that are being worked on and recorded too.
Nice.
So those things are possible once we have content. I think that, and maybe this is to Scott's point, it's really important that before we go into a medium such as Patreon, that we actually do have something to back it up, so that people aren't giving us 50 or $100 and then we don't keep producing content.
Yeah.
So,
The second thing I wanted to say, and just spitballing here, right? Like just brainstorming. Um, love what love what you're doing. And I checked out your website. Really cool. Um, but just from what I've heard, I think the biggest thing you're doing right now is the people incubator aspect. And like,
but yeah, the people.
right, like that to me, and maybe it's because I'm not like that much of a space guy, but like, um, that to me is like legacy. Like that's gonna leave a like that's
Mhm.
changing the world. Like that's some really cool shit. Excuse my language. But I was like wondering like how can you monetize that factor, right? So like I think a question I would love to ask the right people, the right corporations or institutions is how valuable is it to take a person and develop their skill sets to where they're adequate and ready to work for them. That's essentially what you're doing, right? Like you're giving them a crash course, you're giving them an internship, an opportunity to work and develop their skills, both hard and soft, right?
Yeah.
How valuable is that to somebody? Like, is there a price that X company or X institution or would pay to have that done for them pre hiring, right?
Yeah.
Because
Scott.
after hiring,
Yeah.
it costs a lot more.
Yeah. Well, hiring people is very expensive, and training people is even more
Yes.
expensive. And I think to what you were saying, losing people is even more expensive.
Mhm.
But Scott, you've talked about this before. Do
I
you
have.
do you want to take this
Nice.
one?
I'm sorry, I stepped away for a second. Could you
Yep,
repeat
yep.
the question?
Oh yeah,
one more
yeah.
time?
No, absolutely. So like
Me.
the what
Yeah, I can take
yeah,
it.
yeah,
So
thank you.
he was asking, is there a price? Can we put a price on training people who are job ready to go work at these big tech firms?
Well, I mean, I think that it depends, right? I mean, you have to find folks that I think and like I mentioned before, when we talked about what could what type of problem we're trying to solve for somebody,
Mhm.
right? I mean,
Yes.
it depends on what folks see. If people see the problem as we see it and see the vision that we see as as the training that we put that we give people to provide them with jobs. Yeah, I think that is there a price to it? Is there something that I think that we've had an early discussion, last year that's something we haven't followed up on only because we needed to work on some of our materials. But there's a corporation in Cincinnati that is a data driven corporation, and they're interested in the idea of help of creating a funnel for talent into their talent pool, right? And is that something that we could provide for a company? I think we could. And what Matt and I have had discussions about more than a few times is if we can find a corporate partner that is really interested in the way that we're training people and interested in the skills that we're providing for people, you know, they have the opportunity with that early investment and with that early help to help craft the curriculum, because really that's what it is, right? A curriculum that we're really running
Yep.
people through.
Mhm.
And if they can craft it, and certainly we'd be open to crafting it in a way that benefits a certain corporation that says, "Hey, we're going to pay you to do this." Of course, we're gonna help craft what we do to help them specifically. So yeah, of course we can do that. I think, you know, what it's an interesting model, right? Because the company I'm speaking about specifically is a data arm of a major Fortune 500 corporation, and the way that they were their own shop, they kind of, you know, came over from the UK, started their own thing, but they got this massive contract from this corporate sponsor, and suddenly they basically morphed into their data arm, and they are now affiliated, right? And that they were 12, 20 people that came over from the UK with an idea, and suddenly they morphed because they had a new vision and a new direction that, when money comes behind something, suddenly you can push in a different direction. And so that's why I approached them. They were my first approach to kind of get some direction and to get some, and get some pointers from them, because this is their origin. This is where they came from in a very different way, because they had the idea in the town already, but we're trying to fulfill fill those talent pool for these companies now. And yeah, of course, if somebody wants to guide us in the right direction, we'll absolutely listen to that.
Nice. Yeah, that was, again, because it resonates so much what we're trying to do. Just the people incubator aspect of it is very fascinating, and I think necessary. And yeah, I don't know how to put a business model around it. I don't got that answer, but like I also don't think it's impossible.
Yeah, it's hard it's hard to conceptualize trying to monetize goodwill or monetize, DEIB initiatives. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't. And so, that's part of the reason why I talk about this in two different ways. When I talk about the mission is to, help folks from the DEIB communities, women and people of color, people from the LGBTQ community, folks that have historically been underrepresented, people who are neurodivergent, people with handicaps, people who are the spouses from the military, people who are changing careers midway through, people who are older and are discriminated against because people don't hire 50-year-old software engineers unless they've got some really super great thing they're
Yeah.
sharing. All of it. That's like the point. But also the point is to give people these skills, give early career tech professionals a skill in not only doing what they've been trained to do, but in working together with a team to do that. Because
Validating.
that's the big crux. That's the difference between an entry-level job and a job that pays a lot of money.
Yep.
Just those first 2 to 3 years of being somebody that people want to work with, people that want to share time with you and vouch for you.
Yeah.
And that's what I think that we can offer and deliver. So yeah, when you want to talk about monetizing what we do, I want to talk about it that way. I don't want to talk about monetizing, trying to diversify tech, but I will talk about trying to give these companies their own training platform that they're donating to help exist.
Yeah.
I'm still working. This is still early days in
Same.
formulating this.
Same.
Still struggling. But
Yeah.
thank you guys for your time. I know you guys obviously full-time jobs running this thing too. We are close to the hour mark for you guys. If you guys need to step out, fine. If you guys would like to continue the conversation, we're more than likely,
Yeah.
more than happy to have you
We're
guys
gonna,
on.
yeah, we're gonna stay on for another hour anyway.
Yeah. We
Very
love
nice.
talking to you guys. I mean, thinking about right, going back to what you were saying, Scott, about finding the problem. And as UX designers, we constantly are trying to do that. And then the other part is also what are we offering, right? What is not just the problem? Yeah, it's great to
Value
identify
prop.
problems, but how do you solve it, right? Yeah, exactly. What's the value add that we have on top of finding a problem? Because just finding a problem isn't good enough. Because
And
something that we might want to solve is skip that training part, right? Instead of paying to train somebody, pay us and we'll train somebody for you. That can be now your new value add. And thinking that way is a great way to I don't know, it's just, and for anybody who else might want to do a startup, I think that's just where you should start thinking.
I like that a lot, Larry. Yeah, I think you summed that up really well.
Yeah.
I think that's actually going to be really helpful, I think, for me to have that language.
Yeah.
I'm still
And
struggling
anybody
with
else
it.
who's out there listening.
Yeah, I'm still struggling with it. I'm like, I can find an answer to tell other people to think about it, but I can't solve it for myself yet. So learned so much talking
Yeah.
to you both. Lots of stuff here to do personally.
I'm my day job is a UX researcher. Like as I'm hearing everything that you're all doing, I would put together a study design and do some research to answer some of those questions. And again, you don't seem the type of person that would blush away from asking some tough questions. So like, I would straight out ask, how much would you pay to train somebody? 'Cause I did the quick math, and like one trimester is going to probably cost you around 15 grand to pay somebody contract wise, around $30 an hour. And again, that's absolutely not a pay grade that any of us would take, but like if you're in that position and you want to get those skills, and if you're going to get fed and housed, and if you can manage to get through that first trimester under that type of pay, yeah, if it's your best option, then absolutely. Yeah, would somebody pay you 15 grand to train somebody? It is a valid question.
That's a good point. Thanks, John. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do have time for one more question, but then I do have another meeting coming up.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate you all having us on here to
Yeah.
talk about our, this project that's been so rewarding and exciting over the last 2.5 years.
I know my
Yeah,
questions. Larry,
definitely.
do you got one?
I just had one. It was not a serious question. It was just, how do you do it, Matt? How do you do this?
Gosh, I'd say it's dopamine,
Yeah.
like
Okay,
Hell yeah.
you're
when I
addicted.
talk
I
to
got it.
people, yeah, when I talk to people that are like really happy about what they've done and happy about the project we're working on, I get that little rush and it feels really good, when people tell me that they've gotten a new job. I'll give an example in July. So in May and June, we brought on a team of UX UI developers and software engineers who work together in pods. We call it the Pair Pods project because naming is hard. And we put them in these like groups of 4. And there were 3 different teams and they each had their own work stream. They were creating landing pages so that people could, either give us their email and sign up, maybe donate or maybe participate. And it was a really intense period, and they all did a fantastic job. They put together some really great work. Some of those folks did some other software engineering work for us or design work. And then in June and early July, some of those people got brand new jobs. And I jumped on LinkedIn, and these people that I barely knew were tagging the Space Lab, and they were shouting out to new friends and coworkers that they had met through the Space Lab that lived in different states or in sometimes different countries from them. And we've served people in I think 20 or 30 US states. We've been on 4 continents and in 7
Nice.
different countries. Yeah, and
Nice.
these folks, they're celebrating this thing that was just an idea 2.5 years ago in our laptops in Santa Cruz. So that's what keeps me going. That's how I do it. And even though it's really hard to juggle the timing and I feel like sometimes I'm letting people down, that's what keeps me going.
Yeah, it's awesome. Cool beans.
Super, super cool.
Yeah, my
That
question.
was my question.
Yeah, my
That was
question.
it.
Yeah, I have a lamer question. That's definitely not gonna get that deep of an answer. But do you game? Do you play any games?
I don't, and I think that's why I was so confused when I jumped on. And Larry's
Yeah.
like, "Oh yeah, just follow me," and I'm like, "Wait, what?"
Okay.
um,
Now my
so
my roommate
yeah,
played No Man's Sky. Are you familiar?
I'm not Scott. You're a gamer though, right?
No Man.
Or
A
is that
little bit,
I
a
would
little bit.
highly recommend No Man's Sky. I mean, it's
Mm.
Okay.
yeah. Just look into it and see if you like it.
I'm down the Diablo 4 rabbit hole right now. So
We were
let you know
just,
how I
Oh,
we
feel
were
about
just
that.
talking about Diablo before the stream started. Yeah, nice.
But yeah, No Man's Sky,
Right.
just as a background, No Man's Sky is like you just play as a character, you get to explore space and name animals and things. That's really it.
But
So cool.
the cool thing is it's I forget the wording of it. It's like auto generated. Like it's
Oh, procedurally generated. Yeah.
procedurally generated. Yeah. So like it's widely accurate. Not accurate to like a 1-for-1 for space, but like you can go from one planet to the other and then back to that planet, and it will like grow, and it's pretty wild. It's a simulator in a sense. Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah,
Very fun.
I appreciate you both coming on. This was a fantastic chat, and I love what you're doing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm,
so-
really support what y'all are doing. I'm really happy to be here, and I would love to talk with you again in the future. This was really an honor to be a part of it. So thank you for the discussion, for the excellent questions. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Scott, for your time. We'll
Yeah,
see you
thanks
guys
so much.
later.
Good meeting you guys. Have a great evening.
You too. Thank you.
You too.
So fun.
Damn.
Yeah, people incubator. I love it.
You know what's here's the thing that I actually it's a little depressing. Hear me out.
We brought them all up. We brought the audience up. Let's bring them down.
The reason why I say it's depressing, it's almost like, what am I doing, right? Like, come on. That's why I'm depressed. That's why I'm
Yeah.
like, this is some cool stuff, and I'm contributing. Yeah, I'm trying to help,
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
like doing a couple things for them, but it's still like they're just big picture. They're just so much beyond it, and they both have full time. I don't know if Scott has a full time job, but I know Matt actually just landed a new job, so
Mhm.
he's been handling all that and be able to juggle that and then this and do it for no money, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. And not even the money,
and
but
then
like
even just like,
not much in sight. Like at least with this, I mean, we can monetize this in a sense, like as normal streamers
right?
can. So like there's a little glimmer of oh, Grisel's here. Hello. Oh, did you
Yeah,
close the
Michelle.
door, Grisel?
Oh no! All right, let me go get her.
Oh, she's just dancing. I think she's chilling. Hello.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have like a little glimmer of hope. But yeah, they're doing it.
Just the
Just
tiniest
the
glimmer.
tiniest glimmer.
Oh
We're
man.
getting people in the chat talking, so giving me
Yeah,
hope.
I'm glad. Right. Like that's, and to Matt's point, I agree with him. I think that dopamine kick is actually something I actually like need to come to grips with. Like, yes, I'd like to do design work. Yes, I like to. Obviously, we want money, but some part is just like, you know what? Like seeing somebody succeed, it's like it taps that like the teacher in me, and it's like, oh, he got it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's it. Like, yes, I want to do that more. Um, yeah. Hopefully, we can get there to that day.
yeah, I agree.
Oh, just as a quick little hint, I've mentioned this to you, I think off stream, but I'm trying to pitch the podcast thing to Space Lab also, because
I
they
heard
actually started a
you told me.
podcast, and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
yeah, they started a podcast, they recorded one episode, didn't air it,
yeah.
and I was like, oh man, like I actually wanted to hear some more stuff about them because I didn't exactly understand what their product was, right? Like thinking of what they had as a product. Because yes, you heard like we're a people incubator. Like what is that? One,
Right.
what is what people incubator? And two, how? Like how are you doing this space life? Like so unfortunately I feel like I just redid their podcast
Yeah.
on our stream.
Yeah.
Now I do want to do that podcast again, almost the same way. And I'm like trying to think of like now what do I do? Because
Yeah.
I asked all the questions that I wanted to ask, and then I have to do it kind of again similarly,
Yeah.
but
Do it
in a
again.
different way. I'm sure it'll be fine.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. How did you guys like? What was the story behind why you guys had them come on? I kind of like I've been kind of lurking here and there, but I've like noticed like every like Tuesday, you guys kind of have like special guests coming in and talking
Yeah.
about like what it is that they do.
Yeah, I would say that's
Yeah. So
yeah, Tuesdays are probably in a format like that. Either we're gonna talk to people, bring them
Mhm.
on, or we're gonna try to do actual design work. And we're trying to make Thursdays more fun and game.
Yep.
Yeah, a little bit more casual. But yeah, Larry has a story of how he met them.
yeah. So I'll just back up to January this year. I started at this internship, like just a little quick startup. We actually did invite the founder of that startup here too, or
I would love to talk
I
to
have
him.
to actually. I need to talk to her at some point, so I'll bring her on at some point. But I met with a bunch of designers there. I just like did work with all of them. One of them went and once we graduated, it's similar structure. We like had this cohort thing. We did work, left, and then she found this company, Space Lab, and so then she started working for them, also unpaid. And then fast forward to like a month ago, she was like, "Hey, we need more designers to help us," and so she asked me, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll jump on." And so I got connected with this company, and then I was like, "Hey, Matt, do you wanna jump on this thing that we're doing?" And then he was like, "Yeah, sure." So basically, it's just like getting to know people, getting to know people, then getting to know people, and just like this is the power of networking that I've never really experienced before, but definitely good now.
The podcast definitely helped. I mean, well, the Twitch streaming.
Yeah, well, I feel like it's starting to ramp up, which is great, but just putting the work. I've really just been leveraging my own network to get people to come on and cold calling people on LinkedIn,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like that's how I met John in the first place. So works.
Yeah, that's my advice to anybody of like networking will get you so much further than filling out 100 applications. Like,
Yeah.
talking to 10 people and having genuine conversations and being genuine about it. Like if you're coming from a person that's looking for something, I think it's gonna be obvious, but like also don't. I don't know. I don't want to say beg, but like don't come off as too needy. Be genuine and like when I was networking, I always ended all my either my messages or my calls with like, if there's anything I can do for you, let
Mhm.
me know, right? Like
Yeah.
if there's anything, if you need research work or if, I don't know, help moving a couch, I will
Real
help.
go-getter.
Yeah, like because I know what it opened up doors for me in the past. So like helping and being genuine about it, and getting out there and networking got me further than
Yeah.
I filled out so many applications.
I feel like I'm pushing 4 digits here.
Wow, that's some numbers. I
Not
Researching
rookie
it.
numbers no more.
not rookie numbers. I probably did 300. I'd feel safe
Oh,
saying around there. All in
I
all,
don't want to count.
I'm going by like rejection emails, which is probably half, if not a third of actually. Not everybody's kind enough to send those rejection emails.
Not even the automated ones.
Yeah.
Dang.
How are you guys
Anyway,
feeling though? I guess I kind of like caught the conversation towards like the end of it, and you guys were kind of like reaching out for uh questions regarding how you might want to continue on with the stream and how you might be able to get volunteers or people to come on. I don't know. I was wondering
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah. I mean, we're we're still taking it week by week, and I still want to bring designers on to actually work on a project. We do have a fun kind of campy project.
I was about to say.
We got something that we can work on that doesn't feel too grounded in anything real, which I think will allow us to have more fun and make a little bit better content.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still got to get out there and like either find companies that need a little work done, and then the hard part is what Space Lab and Matt have done and overcome is finding volunteers to put in serious time, right? Like 10 hours a week, if not more.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's not easy.
Mhm.
So just same way I met both of you, or same way I met you, like just cold emailing, cold messaging people.
Yep.
It's a numbers game. Yeah, Larry, you want to tell her about the project? Oh, I'm sorry, you
Yeah.
I was gonna ask about it.
good?
So,
Yeah.
you know what? Actually, let's move into the next phase of this stream. Now, John, do you actually want to start this? Like, we can kick it
Again,
off, right?
we can. Again, I have that Figma issue. So I don't know.
Do we do like a free Figma file? Like, I can start a file and then we
Yeah.
jump into that. It should be free theoretically. But let me give you the preface for it, Grishel. It's so last week we were just like streaming, playing games, and we are trying to think of a project we could make. Like what's and completely make believe. Like this is no way gonna be real, and try to do a real product. And so we came up with the idea of making like a monster lifestyle tracking, was that life management
Something like that. Yeah.
tool. So, for
Oh,
example,
speaking
like
of which, I actually downloaded Habitica. I've been using it for like the past like 3
Oh,
days. It's pretty
nice.
fun.
nice,
Nice.
nice, very cool. I really should get back on it. Um,
That's so
I'm
cool.
so bad at it. And that's the thing, right? Like I have to turn it on
And then it will help you.
I have to, yeah. First, like to mentally turn it on to be like,
Yeah.
I need help.
You need
Then I
a
get the help.
you
But
need
if
a
I don't
Habitica
turn it
to
on,
help you start a Habitica.
I mean,
right?
like my trick was just like adding like very, very basic tasks, like brush teeth, make bed,
Yeah,
and I won't go
I
past like 5 things. Anything
yeah.
like crazy, like finish creative project, I'm not putting that on Habitica.
I've done that and I'm behind, but it helps to have it on there. But anyway, the product is to like life management for monsters. So one of the examples was like a werewolf wants to have a time tracker. He needs to know when the moon's gonna come so that he can, you know, make his like adapt his days. Or for example, like vampire needs to get his vitamins properly because he's only eating or he's only drinking goat blood and he's like, you know what, you need to diversify, whatever. So like stuff like that, it's just,
Running low on
it can
sunscreen.
feel real. Yeah, right. Running low on sunscreen. He may be running, like these may be translated to real products, but for us it's just kind of fun to
Yeah,
do.
we're trying to find
Think of it in a way.
we're trying to solve real problems that a fake user would have,
Yeah,
Like monsters.
like monsters.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I think that sounds fun.
Yeah, how do we
You
start?
can, yeah, we can
We
jump
had
into it.
yeah, we had an idea before we had monsters. What was it? Um,
Oh, it was Zootopia
Zootopia.
related. It
Right,
was
right.
we wanted to do like something in the world of
Yeah,
Zootopia, but
yeah,
then we were like, because Zootopia is so grounded in real life already,
yeah.
anything we did in that world would be
We,
basically a
yeah,
real product.
yeah, yeah. Yep, that's right. Okay,
So yeah.
Mm.
John, is this the Figma file we wanted
it
to jump
is.
into
Yeah, yeah.
and
Uh,
stuff around?
I think you should be able to jump in there too. I think both you will only be able to view.
Okay.
I
Oh, if I ask to edit, I'll cost you money.
think so.
Okay.
Found that out the hard
I'll
way.
leave it in the browser then. Um, so we should start with, I mean, how do we start this, right? Like, how do we just talk about our users? Just
Yeah. So
start
I think what I'm
from,
gonna do is I'm gonna copy. We can.
and just start spitballing ideas at you.
Yeah, we're gonna spitball ideas, and I'm gonna have to type everything in. So
Cool.
have then. Oh man, I really wish you can work on this too. Yeah, Wolfman.
And that's the werewolf wolfman thing.
Yep.
Man wolf. Okay, cool.
Dracula. These are the users
Yep.
helping me.
I was like, is that a like a new way to say it? Like you say idea, like Dracula.
Yeah, I know. I do.
Yeah.
A Boston accent. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. What other monsters did we come up with? I didn't. It
I
was
think Frankenstein.
Frankenstein. That's right.
Frankenstein was the one that I liked a lot
Yeah,
because
I do too.
Frankenstein
Yep.
is like therapy because he has identity issues.
Yep. Yeah, I like Frankenstein a lot too. All right, we can start off with those
Uh,
three.
You know what? I also was thinking. So I went to Salem this weekend,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, well, witches is another one,
Which
but I
is
feel like
another
witches
one.
is a little too human.
Um,
And also, I can't imagine. I don't know what their problems are.
yeah. Let's start off with the three. I
But
think that's
okay. I also some part of in the back of my head, I kind of wanted some female diversity too. And that might be why I was thinking of witches.
any of these can be female.
Fair enough. Yeah, you're right. No, you're right. Let's say instead of Dracula, let's say vampire then, because Dracula seems like a specific person versus yeah, there you go. These are your afflictions. Let's say wolf person. There you go. That's inclusivity at its finest.
Okay.
Those are the users.
All
Give me
right.
a second. I need to thank those two for
Happening. Alrighty, so we'll start off with the wolf person. what are some problems you think they would have? So they have to track the moon, track the lunar cycle, right? Let's see what else. Flea and dictation. Rochelle, do you have a Figma account?
Oh yeah, I do.
You do?
But yeah, I just got on the well, it's an education account.
Who's in here with us? Anonymous.
I think that was me on a different tab.
Yeah, I'm gonna get into Figma and then not, and then I'll close out of the browser one.
Yeah, if you
Give me 1 second.
if you pay for a Figma account, let me know. I'll
Yeah, that's what you're asking, right? Like,
yeah,
do you have a paid Figma account?
yeah, if you have a paid Figma account, let me know and just let me know the email.
Oh, I just used my education account. I don't know if that makes
Oh
a
man,
difference.
Do you
I don't
want
have an
to
education
try it?
account.
You want to try it?
Try.
Because I can't invite anybody into this that doesn't to be able to edit that doesn't have a paid account. So
Oh, does my education account not work?
if you're able,
Like, isn't that the?
yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if you're only able.
I think I'm able to view it.
Yeah, because the only problem is like when I brought a bunch of people on a couple weeks ago, I got charged for it, and I didn't realize I was getting charged for it.
Oh,
Charge a
got
lot of
it.
money too.
Uh-oh.
It was a little bit of money that I could have used.
I mean,
I can send over
any money
email.
that, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, yeah. If you guys can just, yeah, we'll just keep doing it like this. Just feed me some
Oh, so for the wolf person one, okay, I see. Okay, uh, hunting season.
hunting.
That would be pretty funny. Or also like,
As
what's the word?
as
Like,
in they hunt or people hunting them.
yeah, I was about to say both. Maybe both, because you don't want to be a wolf when, farmers are out there like, hey, let's go get whatever. But wolves might want to be out with like, hey, you know what? Deers have just repopulated because like they're on a cycle or something too. So hey, now is great for us to go out and get some venison.
Okay.
Like now is venison season or something.
Okay. What else? What else? Um.
Are wolf people? Do they also live like? Do they channel their people side? Do they have like jobs, a life with people?
So
Maybe.
the
Why?
human side.
New clothes.
Oh no.
Well, I
When I hear wolf,
assume.
I think of like Little Red Riding Hood or Goldilocks.
John, I'd like to say clothes has an E in it.
Oh yeah. Thank you. Where it goes? Where's it go?
Yeah, after the H. Yeah, English, right? English is crazy.
Uh.
Oh, that'd be funny. Tearaway pants? Ooh.
Um.
I would say they also need some dental work, probably.
Okay.
But like, do they have to talk to a veterinarian or a human dentist, right? Like, or a specialist somehow?
Mhm.
Oh, also, in that line, do you know what a farrier is? Do you know who that is?
Not.
Farriers are people who work with horse hooves or horse
Oh
maintenance.
yeah. I love those. I watched that.
Yeah. So similar on the similar vein. So like a dental worker or what I don't know, like dental worker is the right word.
Getting manis and petties.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Wolfmen might need mani pedis for that. I mean, specifically in their wolf form. Because I don't know, maybe it stays in only like maybe their nails only grow as they're in wolf form, and then when they revert to humans, the wolf nails stop growing. Or maybe it's like if you haven't done a medicure
Yeah.
in your human form, they like go nuts in their wolf form. I don't know.
I think I'm gonna keep. I think we're not gonna. These people don't change. There is no human form.
Oh, okay. So just wolf person.
Just-
So yeah, then I would
just-
say like
just wolf
they need
person.
their
Yeah.
yeah, I would say they
Oh,
need
then I
their
guess
like
if that
maintenance.
that's it. Then I guess the stretchy clothes and breakaways doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Uh,
They're always one state of being.
yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe for
That's
the wolf,
permanent.
maybe for the wolf person, they can transform. That does make sense. But for like obviously the vampire, they're always vampire, and Frankenstein, they're always
Right.
Frankenstein.
Yep.
Okay, so
Laundry.
That's a good
yeah.
one. Let's see.
Many petties.
Yeah, right. I almost would say mani pedis are applicable to all three of these people, because like yeah, I
Yep.
can't imagine like Frankenstein holding a nail clipper, you know?
There.
He's gonna be like huge hands. Yeah, you know what? It is their maintenance. Like just general maintenance for everybody. Frankenstein maybe needs his bolts checked in. He might need additional like identity therapy, but like tune-ups.
It's like basic hygiene, I feel.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I'm actually. Do you mind going back and forth between the monsters? Because some things might come up as we think of something. Like, and I don't know anything else currently for wolf people, but I'd like to put the idea down for vampire of like their nutrition,
Yep.
like their dietary management.
Yes, this is why.
I bet you they're vitamin D deficient.
I was about to say, like, they're deficient in a lot of things that aren't inside blood.
Right.
Protein.
Yeah. I bet you they're really good in iron though. Really, really good in iron.
Uh,
Do you think vampires have poor eyesight?
no, they're like superhuman, right?
They don't know how they're functioning. All they're
Hmm?
if they're
Yeah.
just drinking blood.
Well,
So here's the
Probably just
thing, right?
tired.
The reason why I think I would suggest that they have poor eyesight is because you know how like those fish who lived in caves with no light at all, they evolved to like not need their
it's
eyes.
like bats.
Right. So similarly, like, does that mean vampires have poor eyesight during the day and then only good eyesight at night?
I think
Or like just
think some research would have to be done, but I'm almost certain that they're like superhuman. Their hearing, their smell, their sight
I see.
is
This is the Twilight
enhanced.
vampires.
I was
I
thinking
see.
about the Twilight vampires.
Yeah, they
I was
spark.
like,
They
was
sparkle.
Edward Cullen wearing glasses?
They're
Was
too
the, I think,
shiny.
was the father or something? That's funny. Okay.
They never ate though.
Yeah, I would be. I don't. I guess maybe they would need pedicures and pedicures. Yeah, I wonder if
They
you,
definitely
'cause if you cut a vampire's hair, does it grow back?
don't know.
Yeah.
No idea.
Research.
Oh yeah. What was it? Do you ask like the ChatGPT about them, right?
No,
Or
I
something like
asked.
that?
It's
When
called
it counts their-
character.ai.
Nice.
Look it up.
Oh, one of the ideas I had last week about vampires was like because they can't see in the mirrors, they don't know how to dress themselves
Yes.
well.
Yes, that was a really good one.
So they need like fashion tips,
Oh, which
let's
is that?
say. You know what? Just thinking about this, vampires of all people would definitely need dentists because they can't see them, their teeth, right? They have no idea what condition it's in.
Do they get good sleep?
What?
Ooh.
Do they get good sleep?
Don't know. Yeah,
sleep
don't know.
sleep tracking.
They snore.
Oh, that's so funny.
I don't know like what their sleeping habits are. Like,
I mean, it's during
are
the
they
day.
sleeping
They have
during the day?
They actually
Or
suffocate
they
because they're in their coffins.
yeah.
They have sleep apnea.
sleep hard sleep apnea.
That's funny.
That's why they all got like extinct because it's so easy to find them. Like, what coffin are they in?
Just hear it. You can hear them choking in their sleep.
Funny. Okay. Uh-oh. Yeah. That's whatever. All right. So this is character.ai. See if we can find vampire. I don't want any vampire. It's a lot of anime. I think I even have to do Dracula. Can you also hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you? Oh, I was looking. I was like, who am I following? I realized I was following Grishel. Hello.
My
Yeah, because
cursor.
I figured
Terrible speller.
Yeah.
we can't edit, right?
No.
No, I can only comment.
Okay.
I sent over a request to edit, but
We can't. The others will pay for it, or Don will
Yeah.
pay for it.
All right. So on the stream, I have
that's what it is.
Dracula, in a AI chat.
Yeah.
Okay. So we do some research there. Let's see if I can also. Wolf person.
It'd be funny too, thinking about like people who made these characters in D&D, because then they're like very much more human, not human, but like realistic.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're gonna ask Dracula, right? Belmonts, but this is specific to the Belmont universe. You want to ask Dracula what is your daily struggle? What's the biggest thing in your daily struggle? Something like
I think I asked him that last week, and it not great of a response. I
Oh.
think he just made fun of me.
Really?
Yeah. Oh,
Your
Frankenstein's
noble
monster.
furry.
That's right. It's not Frankenstein. It's Frankenstein's monster.
Right. All right. Fair enough. Right, because Frankenstein is the doctor.
Okay, so I'm asking
This is
Frankenstein.
not the same as. Wait, this is not the same as Jekyll and Hyde, right?
Different.
Okay. Right.
Um.
Loyalty?
What should I
Frankenstein.
ask?
Who is Frankenstein? Frankenstein is the doctor. Oh, there it is.
Frankenstein.
Monster.
Yeah, Frankenstein is a doctor. Frankenstein's monster is monster. So I'm asking
Ooh.
Frankenstein, what is something you struggle with every day?
I bet he's lonely. I just saw that first thing. He said that he struggles. What did he say? Like has social shunned and hated. Yeah.
He's thinking. I have deep longing for acceptance and true connection with others. When I have tried to open myself to those around me, I have been met with fear, disgust, anger, and even violence. It is difficult for me to understand why I am treated with such disrespect and hostility when all I desire is to be seen as a living, feeling creature worthy of respect and love. Wow.
He went
Yeah.
deep with
Sounds
it.
like he needs a therapist.
I think yeah, I agree. Okay.
In short, he's lonely.
In short,
He's lonely. Yeah. Definitely lonely.
In short, so therapy.
He needs friends.
Oh, that's good. So, friends.
Some sort of like a platform, a social media platform
Yep,
for him.
yep, yep. Some sort of like, yeah.
Get to know the real Frankenstein. Well, maybe we should rebrand him to not monster. The Frankenstein. I don't know. I don't know what you would call him.
Person.
Yeah, I guess. You know what he might need? A rebranding.
Yeah. There we go. Okay.
He needs a side hustle.
Yeah. Or just what's the word when you like
Rebrand
I
or
guess it is rebranding when you like
re-
take the word that was like it was bad and then you like
Oh no, he needs a like publicist, like PR, public relations.
publicist. Ah,
Because like I don't think he cares about his brand. He wants a new image, right?
yes.
Like
Okay, well,
too.
yeah, so ultimately it's trying to make friends. He wants friends, right? And in order to make friends, he has to be seen in a better light than he is currently.
Right.
So it is kind of
Yeah.
publicist.
Yeah. He wants to like fix his reputation.
Yeah.
Something like that.
What's the word? Yeah, it is when you take ownership of the word, then it like no longer hurts you or something like that, and you like I don't know. But yeah. Do you think he needs I would say he also could use some like popular trends, things like that, like getting to know what, social etiquette maybe or what slang to use,
Mm.
uh, body language, conversational tips, things like that, like might help too.
Uh,
Not just
speech
rebranding,
speech therapy. Yeah.
speech therapy, yeah, maybe. Um, yeah, because who knows? Yeah, because he's got such low amount of social skill practice that he needs to develop those skills. Damn mortal bodies I possess.
Oh, you were just reading the.
Dracula.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I struggle with these damned mortal bodies that I possess.
I don't know what that means.
It is the most. Yeah, I don't either. It is the most inconvenient to have so little control over these flesh sacks. Whoa. And they make it so difficult for me
Rude.
to. Yeah, I know, right? For me to hunt and quench my thirst. All right. So his problem is. I don't know what his problem. I mean, he's thirsty.
Just always thirsty.
Yeah. So I guess. Food. Like a food source.
Oh, you know what? So
Oh,
you know how people talk about their relationship with food? For people who are like either overweight, underweight, etc., they have to redefine their relationship with food.
Mm,
I don't know exactly know what that means for my sake, but like the point is you're conscious while you're eating. You don't, if you're craving salt one day, you like, okay, hey, let's try to get circumvented or whatever. Some people like I think thinking about it personally, like I grew up cleaning my plate, right? I
uh-huh.
would always clean it no matter what. And it was like because food was scarce or like because we were poor or whatever. And just culturally speaking, you're supposed to clean your plate.
Mhm.
The problem with that was if I overcooked something, meal prepped, and I didn't portion properly, I'd now be overeating because I had to clean my plate. And that would happen when we went out, whatever. I'd never like to leave leftovers, so on and so forth. But changing the reference to, you know what? I'm full. I'm good. This is all I need to eat now. And then I was able to like get back on track of like now I'm thinking about food differently. I don't eat because I have to finish this thing as a completionist, but I eat because I enjoy eating and just to get sustenance and whatever.
Yeah, no, I agree. I put a addiction therapy under
There it is.
vampire
Yeah.
because like that's kind of hitting what you're saying, like being able to control what you eat and when you eat.
Yep.
I put
Yep.
food source as well. I think that's if we're not gonna have them killing humans, then they have to be tapped into the butcher slaughterhouse, the
Hmm.
excess blood and all that stuff.
Like alternative
What if?
ways to get
Yep.
these
Thank you.
vitamins.
Thank you. Yep.
Here's a crazy thought. What if they were vegans? Like if they identified as vegans, but they're like, I have to
Oh,
drink blood. And
what
now
if they
what?
were
gluten free,
Right. Yeah. Well, blood's gluten free. It's fine.
are vampires specifically like carnivorous?
I don't know actually.
Either, yeah.
Like I wonder if they're omnivores, but they just have preferences.
Right? Like what if they could just eat veggies and be fine?
Right? They get their
They just
iron,
had blood
all
cravings.
that, just
Yeah.
tons of Brussels sprouts. So
And
much.
spinach.
Spinach,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just pounding it. Who knows?
Funny. All right. What's some good questions that I can ask these monsters? I couldn't find a good
You
AI.
know what? You want to ask?
Couldn't find a good AI for
Changes.
Huh?
wolf. I couldn't find a good AI for wolf person. I just spell werewolf. Is it WER?
WERE. Yeah.
Werewolf.
I was gonna say, if you can ask the vampire one,
Mm-hmm.
how well do you sleep? Like, how's your sleep patterns or something like that?
I figure you can just ask them like, do you want to make any changes in your life?
That's true.
Okay, good. Yeah, okay. I do not sleep at all. I'm in perpetual state of waking. That is both a blessing and a curse. It is a blessing that I am always conscious, never caught off guard. However, my mind cannot shut off, not the slightest. I am tortured by my thoughts. I do at least have pleasant dreams every now and then. There's these.
Yeesh.
This dude's intense. Rochelle,
Yes.
what was it?
Struggling.
Just straight out asked, do you have any problems? How'd you frame the question?
Michelle.
Oh, I was like, do you want to make any changes in your life?
Right.
Do you want to make any lifestyle changes?
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say like another way to ask something was like if you had a personal assistant to do one
Mm.
job for you, what would it be?
Because the goal is like what to make. Is it a habit tracking app or for the?
We have no idea. That's what we're trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
trying to figure out some
Let me see
problems that they would
how-
have, and then yeah, we're gonna like it. This isn't real, right? So like, there really are no
Yeah.
bounds. So like, we can make one app that satisfies all these monsters' needs. But yeah, we were thinking it would probably be along the lines of a lifestyle app that could like track your sleep, help almost like
Read my-
Habitica, right? Almost a Habitica for monsters.
Yeah.
Actually, when I downloaded it, it apparently went through some crazy change, and a lot of people haven't been happy with the recent
Oh no.
updates
Habitica?
with Habitica.
Oh, no.
Because well, I'm like completely new to the app, but when I like went on like random like threads about what exactly the change it was that they implemented, it was about they took out guilds, which was like a major like socializing
Yeah. I tried
um
starting a guild and it
feature.
wasn't working. I wonder if that's why.
And I guess that's how like other users found each other and like were keeping each other accountable for said habits. Like I think there was like an ADHD one, there was like a fashion one. But after like the guilds went away, it was like, oh, how would I find new users to like communicate with? And like like the social aspect of the app basically was gone and a lot of users weren't happy about it. And I
I
was
didn't
like, oh,
realize
I
that
think
was
that's like
it.
it's like a major like thing that keeps people on an app.
Yeah, and I mean that's why
Yeah.
I suggested we use it. That way, everybody on the stream could kind of keep the tasks of the stream accountable and help each other solve them. Yeah, I tried adding.
I think you can still
Say again?
you can still like add friends and whatnot. You can still add friends, I
Okay.
think, but whatever that guild thing was, it's like destroyed. It's gone. I think they just didn't have moderators anymore or something.
I guess.
Uh,
All right, ask Dracula, do you want to make any changes in your life? I have done everything I could possibly have imagined doing. I have consumed the best wine and feasted, blah, blah, blah. I've witnessed, blah, blah, blah. All right, I would say that I am quite content. However, if I were to make one change, it would be to rid myself of the wretched human body. Oh, gee.
right?
Dracula trans? Fucking go.
I feel like this guy is like an well, no, I think like they're really like leaning into this emo
Yeah,
side of him.
right.
I don't even
not a
think it's
super
like a
huge
gender
fan of it.
thing. It's like he just doesn't
Yeah.
want his body. Like he wants to get rid of form.
I gotta throw it down. I mean, if it's an issue, so
Does he also have an identity issue then?
that's what I was getting at. Yeah.
In a different way?
Like existential crisis.
Yeah, I guess.
Then I asked if I could solve one problem for you, what would it be? I wish to be rid of this horrible human body. I yearn for my freedom to roam the night and hunt for blood, my freedom to have my own domain. Yeah, I don't think this is. Yeah, I don't like this AI. It has 484,000 messages, though. It's the most popular one for Dracula.
I mean, we can get answers. We can also just like
Yeah.
look for answers questions that we want, as opposed to what's correct.
By the way, I have to be right back.
Yeah, sure. Huh.
I asked Google.
Okay.
Maybe
Maybe problems do zebra mussels cause?
pros and cons of being a vampire. Okay. On. Ooh. Oh. All right, here.
Health problems.
All right. The launch of Breaking Dawn. Blah blah blah.
Do you think vampires have gout?
Yeah. How funny would that be to like be immortal and like still have to like suffer through?
Yep.
No.
Oh, I saw one that says by lack of fiber.
Yeah, here it is. Lack of fiber. Sleep deprivation.
Okay, yep.
Allergic to garlic. Ooh, a garlic tester. Food tester.
Like, it's not really like a chemical, right? It's the plant, the whole plant. They fear werewolves? I didn't know that.
You're in the same. Oh, are you reading off the stream?
Yeah,
The delay.
yeah.
Gotcha. I mean, yeah. I mean, what movie? What's the movie that was? Oh, Underworld. All right. Vampires and Lycan are mortal enemies.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, okay. Pros and cons of being a
Sure, I guess.
vampire. Let's see. All right. The pros: you can live forever. If you're careful. Power: you'll look young. You can hypnotize people. Your blood will have the
You can
ability.
have those. Sure.
Cons: can't venture out in the sunlight. Okay, so sunlight's a big one.
No beach days.
No beach days.
Mm-hmm.
You're very pale. Ooh, tan.
Yeah, but they don't want to tan. Oh, maybe they do, because beauty standards, right?
Right. Okay. Living forever. Living forever can also be a disadvantage, as all your friends and your family will age, but you won't. You have to make
Yeah,
new
bored.
friends. All right, so you have to make new friends, just like Frankenstein. Year after year.
You know what though? Because you live forever, a lot of these things don't mean much to you, right? And that's another way to think about it, because these friends will die anyway. So why make friends at all? As opposed to just stick with other people who are
Super.
immortal.
Fair. Other full annihilation. Let's say make other mortal, because I won't just vampire.
Yeah. Or cultivate racial, I don't know, relationships. But yeah, I guess we're the same page. Whatever. You can choose whether or not they're immortal. It's fine. Not a limitation.
Another con: you will have to give up the joy of eating any food, as well as all you can feed on and digest is blood. That does suck.
Chriselle, thank you for coming. We'll keep doing this, so just jump on when you want. We'll probably do this again on Thursday, you think? Maybe we'll do a brainstorming session on Thursday. Yeah, just come by. But yeah,
Where are you reading? What's happening?
it's just a stream chat.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah. Um.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah. What
Uh,
was I gonna say?
about giving up food.
Oh yeah, I almost. Well, they say in that site specifically, they only drink blood. They can't even eat anything. It's only blood.
Mm-hmm.
That sucks.
Ooh, how about blood recipes? Maybe they can. I mean, you can
Ah,
freeze it. Maybe you can turn it into other things.
pudding. Yeah.
Blood pudding. Hell yeah.
Well, that's a thing. That's a thing,
Uh,
actually.
yeah, it's blood.
But you're right.
That's
If you can only eat one thing, how do you
right.
change it up? Yeah, that's good.
Uh, okay.
That's quite a lot.
You could become a cruel being, feared and isolated from others. That's therapy.
That's a make friend thing. Yeah,
Yep.
therapy.
So what do you think about
They
reading
could also
through?
use social skills too, or like develop their own social skills, get some practice, whatever.
I think that can go for Frankenstein as well. So, ooh, socials.
Yeah, I would believe only. I actually, you know what? In a way, I think all of these would need that because
Right.
assuming that they're in a world with normal humans too, these normal humans won't really understand their struggle. Like they don't really empathize in the same way. So yes, it's kind of like living as a minority. Yeah, they're a minority. Like we have struggles that you don't understand, whatever. And then like feeling like you belong somewhere, I think might be a struggle for all of these.
Okay. Okay. All right. Pros and cons of being. Well, we'll continue with Dracula.
Okay.
Let's see. I think this is too much right. Reading. Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yep.
Well, I mean, that might be what we need to do, right? To learn about our users.
Ooh, vampire weaknesses: silver, gold, horseshoes, uh,
Horseshoes?
needles, mirrors, clocks, stained glass, dolls. Ooh, what is this? Oak wood. Ooh, uh,
Stained glass?
stained
I didn't know
glass.
stained glass was a thing.
I don't know, needles. Uh, Garlic, salt, and pepper. Oh no.
Salt and pepper.
Oh, not being able to be invited into a house. You have to be
Really?
yeah, you have to be invited into a house before a vampire can enter.
Oh,
Uh,
that's funny.
that's something we can solve. I don't know. I don't want to solve that because that's intrusion. That's
No.
setting up breaking and entering.
Yeah. Yeah. We
You're
don't want to
right. Yeah,
what's the word?
consent. Right. We're
Encourage
taking.
bad behavior. Yeah.
Yeah.
We want
Uh.
to ask for consent.
Right. Right. Well, maybe that's all we can. That's the problem. Dracula has to ask for consent.
Yep.
Uh,
Oh, he has to learn how to ask for consent. Be
yeah.
like a little more salesperson-y to get people to invite him in.
Or maybe like an app that like sends a message. Hey, can I enter your house?
He just needs the ring app.
Yeah. Just to ring out.
Yeah, doorbell.
Yeah, these are I don't know. These are all very weird.
Yeah. I think I'm alright with what we've got though. We've got a bunch
Yeah.
for a vampire.
So pros and cons of a werewolf. So cons, you will become allergic to silver.
Also silver. Okay,
Yep.
great.
So we have to test for silver.
And this is like jewelry specifically. I'm assuming they're not getting shot. You
Yeah.
know, they're
Test
living in
for
a very
silver. Yep. Or
non-hostile
yeah,
environment.
maybe medication as well. See if it has. Oh, that's lithium. Never mind.
Oh
Maybe.
wait, like an allergy to lithium?
Lithium helps depression. Like the only
Oh,
known substance. alter. It's only known chemical to actually alter depression in a positive way.
Interesting. Didn't know that.
That
Just eat a battery.
lithium mining is also terrible for the environment.
Yep.
Let's see. So silver, if it could be a big burden, it could be a big burden in turning into a werewolf. So we got that, the changing the clothes. If you could turn
Yep.
into it when you're having something
Also,
important.
the tracking time would help with that.
The lunar, yep. It could be a big problem if you can't control yourself when you're a werewolf form. You could end up causing harm to. Okay, so.
Mm,
Hmm. Ooh,
nothing.
how about like an AA, how you have a sponsor, like an accountability buddy, knowing that. Okay, I
Uh,
really feel like going into this football game and eating a bunch of people. Like, oh, I'll call Larry, see what he thinks. And Larry's like,
yeah,
maybe you shouldn't go into the football thing.
yeah.
So,
But here's what you can do.
right, yeah.
Go play some
Yeah,
go play some
go for
dodgeball.
a run or go lift some weights.
Yeah,
So how
yeah.
about a sponsor?
Or like go to one of those rooms where you can destroy stuff.
Yeah, what are they called? Break rooms or
Something like that. I've been wanting to go, not because I want to
smash
try.
rooms?
I'm just curious what I can like
Yeah.
destroy.
All right, you'll need lots of new clothes. All right, so we got that.
Hmm.
You'll end up tearing with a lot of clothes. Uh,
Wolfsbane. Okay, sure.
yeah, what's that? What's Wolfsbane?
Wolfsbane's a flower.
Okay, so we have to test for Wolfbane.
I'm assuming we can stretch it a little bit and say it's Wolfbane pollen. It'd be allergic if it's like, they're near Wolfbane or something like that, and then it's like um pollen season. They're like, yeah, don't go outside. Do not go outside.
It's about pollen.
I'm pretty sure Wolfbane's a flower, right? Is that right? What is Wolfbane? Wolfsbane. Yeah, it's a flower. Is it poisonous? Is it actually poisonous? Oh, it is actually poisonous
Hmm.
to carnivores.
Hmm.
Okay. Hey. Mm,
Oh wow. I did a Google search on what problems does Frankenstein's monster have, and it's a lot of mental health stuff.
Well, we started on the right track then.
Yep. Let's see. Chapter 10.
Yeah, he doesn't have any physical issues, right? He can eat meat and veggies and whatever. He can live
Yeah, I guess he's
a physically
just
healthy life.
socially awkward, right? And like
Is he also immortal, by the way?
I couldn't know.
You know what's funny? Does he know what his parents are? Does he have that issue with him therapy-wise too?
Well, he's made up of 100 different people. He has 100.
Really?
Like that's hey, it's like he's stitched together from dead corpses
Ah,
that Frankenstein found.
so then does he yeah, he definitely does have some sort of existential
It's
issues,
like
identity issues. Do you think, what if like, I don't know if you've heard like stories of people's, this is like a fantastical idea where like if I lost my arm, right, and I take this person's arm to replace it, this arm is not mine,
mm-hmm,
even though it's part of me.
mm-hmm.
And so now this thing has its own identity. And if I'm built up of all these things, like each of them are fighting for ownership.
Yeah.
So like not just the self identity, like what am I, but also like the multiple personality disorder, sort of. I don't know if that's part of this too.
Not only that, but like what was the life yeah, like because like the parts that have now pieced him together aren't allowed to lay rest. families of those people are
Yeah.
probably mad at him. Like, have my son's leg
Yeah.
or my husband's
Yep.
heart,
Yep.
not yours.
Yep.
Give it back.
Yeah. Could be that. But you can also see the other side of it too, where you've seen people who have heart transplants,
Yeah.
and then like they'll meet the family and they're like, "Yeah, we thank you for basically hosting my son's heart."
Right.
That's cool. Hey, maybe he has to. Maybe his journey is to find these people and make amends.
Down.
Be like, hey, it wasn't a part of any of this, but I think I find it as a personal goal to ensure that everybody, we end on a good note for all the people affected by my existence, unfortunately.
Therapy. All of them have therapy. Addiction. I think they all need
Yeah, they all need therapy. Being a monster is not easy. You know, what'd be funny. We should teach Frankenstein to have words of affirmation, like wake up in the morning, affirm, like
I am
go into the
real.
mirror and be like,
I am
"Yeah, I am
strong.
real. I am loved. I'm worthy.
Oh yeah.
I do great things." Yeah, right.
I
Like,
belong.
yeah.
Roar.
No, we do not yell.
So fun.
It is okay to be sad. It's okay to be frustrated. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Okay, okay. Uh,
I just love the idea of Frankenstein. I think it's super fun to have him as a character that we're working with. Hey, Rochelle, welcome back.
going on. I think we're
Oh yeah, I'm surprised. I didn't have time, but I made it.
I think we're
Nice.
cool. Yeah, well, I think we've gotten enough problem.
Yes.
Uh, now we can infinity map it. And you can't drag and drop any of these as well, or
No, I can't move anything at all. Yeah. But we're good. I think we can, okay, well, actually, walk me through what an infinity map looks like. How would you start doing this? So just like tack stuff together?
yeah. So like you got therapy here, you got addiction therapy, you got you got testing for silver, you got
Garlic.
another one. Doesn't
Food tester for garlic. Yeah. Right
oh, yeah,
there.
right there. Yep. Tester. Let's see. Sleep tracking and lunar tracking.
I see.
Friends, and they all need friends, right?
Yeah, they all need social skill help. I can put that all under social skills.
Skills.
Okay.
Let's see. Boy clothes.
We can do the flea and tick medication with the nutrition too. So some sort of health management.
Goes dental work.
Dental. Yeah.
Dental
Yeah.
tune-ups. What do you mean by tune-up?
Yeah.
Tune-ups goes into
Yeah, I would put that there too. You can also put that under like a schedule too, like if he needs a monthly tune-up, just to make sure his pieces stick together.
all right, because they both need a sponsor.
Okay, yep.
Testing.
That's the same thing. Yeah.
Friend.
Friends is there, yeah.
Could
Blood.
makeup be like really petty?
Say again?
What?
Could the makeup for
Oh.
tanning be mani petty?
Yes, you are correct.
Yeah. There you go. Yep.
The goes into tracking.
Yeah.
speech therapy, I guess social
Yeah, actually, yep.
public relations. I guess they would all need public relations and like rebranding if they want to.
That's true. Yeah. Although some of them I think have less of a hard time. For example, like a wolf person would, I think, would turn into a human, right? So during that time, he wouldn't need to be rebranded.
Hmm.
It's just while he's in wolf form, you might need to
Yeah, you're right.
just alleviate whatever issues. Um, I would flood recipes with body identity issue. Wait, we have identity issue for both of them, don't they? We have identity issue for Vampire and Frankenstein. We should.
Should have one for Frankenstein. I don't think I put it.
Okay.
I wonder where the laundry one can go.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like the other two, like this one is
Do they
because,
need?
well,
Hmm.
I mean they need clothes, but like the reason for this one is because like when the wolf person transforms, they'll destroy their clothes. Like
Right.
if we're gonna make the vampire transform into a bat, then I guess it's a question of what happens to the clothes during that transformation. But I don't know.
Yeah, we have to choose whether or not he has that power.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. I never liked that power for a vampire. I thought that was easy.
Yeah. I would say
Right.
we can leave it as a unique one specifically for the whole person because similarly the vampires can only eat
Right.
blood, right? Like the other ones don't have that issue.
That's valid.
So public relations, everybody. So we'll make.
And yeah, same thing with the mirror thing. Only the vampire has an issue with the mirror, so should be.
What's the issue again with mirrors? Do they not see themselves?
No, they don't have.
Yeah, they can't.
They don't have reflection in mirrors.
Right.
Okay. What are tune-ups for Frankenstein? Is that just like, I don't know, reviving him?
I think because he has like the bolts in his neck. I think it's implied.
Or head? Yeah.
I think it's implied that there's some mechanical stuff in him as well.
Mm,
So
makes sense.
not just like a health physical, like a mechanical tune-up as well.
Oh. But yeah, I guess as far as the tune-ups go, it's not just the mechanical too, but also like let's say he's stitched together, right? He's checking on those stitches. He's make sure that those are all he maybe needs to get those replaced and restitched. Um, so on and so forth.
These are singular. Is this singular? I don't know what Frankenstein eats.
Oh no. Does he need to eat?
Oh. And wolf person. Wolf person can eat regular food when they're a regular person.
I believe so.
So
I
that,
also assume that they're just like a regular carnivore
Right.
as a wolf.
right. So maybe they don't need a food source, like a special food source, the way the vampire does.
Maybe, yeah.
I'm Googling it right
I don't
now.
know.
Nice.
It says he
I think we're
eats
good.
like roots, acorns, and berries.
Ooh, who?
I'm sorry. Who eats roots, acorns, and berries? Frankenstein.
It says Frankenstein's a vegetarian.
What?
So awesome. I love
What?
it. Frankenstein's vegan.
I don't buy that, but all right.
Hell yeah.
I gotta fact check that one.
I can't imagine a monster being
No.
having I don't know.
So that means so instead of blood recipes, we gotta do vegan recipes.
Yeah.
Does say he's a vegetarian.
Yeah, I guess we'll make yeah, veggie recipes.
Vegetarian.
If it hasn't come across, then I'm a terrible speller already.
I've only just now learned it. It's fun. It's great. I'm a grammar Nazi. I'm kind of a grammar Nazi, so
Okay.
it's so much fun.
It's fine. Man, when Figma updated, was it like earlier? I think it was earlier this year when they updated to add spell check. Saved my career.
Mhm.
You see, I always wonder, right? Like, I remember being a kid and be like, I was always good at spelling, and then mom was like, "Yeah, you should be a like a writer." I'm like, I'm not a good writer though. Like, spelling is a skill that doesn't do anything for me, except if I didn't have it, I could lose a job.
All right. Yeah, it doesn't.
You had to just like compete at spelling bees.
Yeah. Well, sure, I guess I could do that for a living.
You could be a copywriter.
I suppose. Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
I talked
actually,
about that.
UX copywriting is really in demand. I think we even need one.
Sure.
Spell check.
Yeah, no, right? All
Yeah,
right.
let me know. It's passing my way, I guess. New skill that I haven't developed, but I'm definitely good at writing or spelling.
All right.
I think we're in a I can't think of anything else at this point.
Yeah, I mean, out of here.
Sounds like a literal book.
Grizel,
What
what the heck?
is vegetarianism?
Essays on food choice, identity, and symbolism. Wow.
Like they went in.
Wait, what? Jones explains how Wikipedia the movie. Wait, this is a little bit less about Frankenstein specifically, and also just about how people relate to food.
It does go back to what you were mentioning with Dracula, though. Food history,
The,
relationships.
yeah, the relationship with food, yeah. Okay, hey, interesting book.
Okay. All right. Now that we have a couple group links, category.
Right. Nice. Are we at this point categorizing what these how we should
Yeah.
believe?
So again, I wish you were right.
Yeah.
Yep. Just giving titles to like what this represents. So like, it's pretty self-explanatory.
Mm-hmm.
Two of the users need sponsors to hold themselves
Mm-hmm.
accountable. Right. So like, we'd be writing like little stories about how these issues relate to the users.
Mm-hmm.
Like track lunar sleep tracking, hunting. So again, time tracking, I guess, would be the title.
Yep.
The testing,
Mm-hmm. Safety, health safety.
health safety testing, social.
Yep. And this is yeah, I guess I can't move it around. That's so frustrating. But that one, this is like the I guess like a psychological health.
Yeah, this honestly might fall into therapy as well.
Yeah.
These all.
Yep. You know what? Thinking about health management, we can put the tune-ups and stuff under there too, actually.
Where's the health
So
management?
here. Yeah, either this one or this one.
No, this one's
I think if it's I think if it's better this one.
time track.
Yeah, okay. And then this I would say actually technically could fall under this the time tracking too then. The dental work. Is this health tracking? No, this is time. This is health. Okay, yeah, dental work is health, I would say.
Yeah, that'll help.
Although the makeup now, if it's health, the makeup one doesn't really fit. I don't
Maybe,
know,
like,
because I see it. Huh?
hygiene.
But makeup's not really hygiene, right? So that's what I'm saying.
We'll leave it in for now. See what we can
Okay. Alright.
close. And
Yeah.
this is not singular. Food.
Yeah. Yeah, that's its own category. I would say food is
Make amends. I mean,
And
this could
this
be
is like
therapy.
yep. Definitely is a personal goal kind of thing.
Mm.
The mirror app. I don't
I kind
know.
of want to throw it in like the tracking, but like that would mess up the cat. Like this seems like a feature, like an actual app feature
Yeah.
needed for them, the similar as to these are.
Yep.
I have like a
I don't
random
know.
like thought
What's up?
with Dracula. If he can't
Yeah.
see the reflection, do you think he has like confidence issues?
Therapy.
Maybe, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, maybe.
Does he
apps.
get more conscious because he doesn't know what he looks like?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
funny.
That could be like something that sounds not exactly like a feature, but it might be related to the mirror.
What I one of the thoughts that I had about this mirror thing was because he can't see himself, right? He doesn't actually know how to dress properly.
Or if anything's in his teeth. He has something stuck in his teeth.
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
um, gotta title these. Let's do that. Would be O E.
Yeah. Yeah, nice.
Let's see. And this would be food.
Yep. I don't know what this one would be.
This is like the re-imaging. This is like might be therapy, but I think it's more third party.
Like social.
You know, this is like
Yeah, it does fit almost in identity, but it's like a social perception, I guess is the word.
and it might be something that another person will have to handle for you, or no, I'm throwing it into there.
I would still put it like as a subcategory though, because it's not like an internal thing.
There.
I mean, I see it they're related, but I just think, yeah, whatever.
Accountable. This is prevention.
Okay.
Prevention of doing bad things.
Yeah.
Tracking.
Yep. Yep. And I call this one health safety. The E goes before the T. Yeah. That one throws people off.
Maybe
It's weird.
maybe also like wellness.
Yeah. Well, I don't know wanna I don't wanna put wellness there because wellness can start to incorporate like mental wellness, health as well. So I wanna keep those a little separate.
Yeah, that's true.
This is social.
Yeah.
Wait, what about like exercise?
Do you think any of them need exercise?
I don't know.
I mean, I don't.
I feel like
I think that can go to tracking.
exercise?
As far as like a solution, right? Like if they
Yeah.
need exercising, they'll schedule regimen.
Yep. Yep.
But who would need it more?
I think Frankenstein is the only one that needs it.
That's assuming he can leave.
Oh, I'm not thinking about losing weight. I'm thinking about maintenance.
If they can't gain weight, or if they can't lose it, then
Then it might be a
The
non-issue.
maybe, yeah, it could be. The only reason I was thinking Frankenstein is because assuming that his body parts are all like cobbled together, he needs to keep them moving, otherwise they'll atrophy.
so he needs what's it called? Physical therapy?
Yeah.
Oh,
He's the only one I could think that would need that. Otherwise, I mean the other two I think are pretty active in general.
That would go under
And even if they weren't, they're just self-sustained physically.
the health and safety. Is that
yeah.
I guess so, yeah.
Yes. They're always hunting.
Yeah. Or like psychological, whatever.
like going out?
Mental wellness.
Women.
Oh yeah, yeah, there it is, mental. Yep. Great.
And then
I don't know. I was just calling it public perception, something like that. Nice.
Alrighty, so now we have a affinity map view. Issues that are base and relevance, accumulated relevance issue, meaning health and safety, wellness have the most.
Are pretty big. Yeah. Yep. I do like the idea. I mean, socials actually, okay, the socials. I guess I don't know. I was gonna say social is not too big of a deal for me, but yeah, just now that I look at it, it's kind of important. Like these other things, like their tracking, can just kind of be internalized. They don't really need a secondary or a third party to help that too much.
Mm.
Yeah, this paints a pretty good picture.
Okay. I'm gonna stop there for the night.
Mhm.
Go eat.
Yeah.
I'd say Thursday when we do our stream, we can either continue doing raft, or we can put like an hour into this, something like that,
Mhm.
and then do some gaming. I know Asia shared some potential games in Discord.
Okay.
Yeah, I would love to see Asia opinions on this. That'd be really fun.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, let's pick it up.
Grishelle, are you gonna be around Thursday, do you think? You can jump in, meet
I
Asia.
might be around like the second hour. I actually don't know. I
Okay.
think if it was on a Tuesday, I think I could make it like for the entire time.
Sure.
But
And
yeah,
do you have access to our Discord or no?
yeah, I'm on the Discord.
Okay, cool.
Cool. All right.
Cool.
I definitely picked that up from you.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't normally do that.
I did it to my PM too.
All right.
He does it as well.
Is that where the username came from? Coolbean.
Kind of, yeah, yeah. I mean, cool comes from a TV character, Abed from Community.
Ah.
It's just my favorite character. But I've been saying Cool Bean since I was a kid.
Mhm.
Yeah, thank y'all both for coming. Those are really cool.
Yeah.
This is
Thanks, man. Happy New Year every time.
fun.
right.
All right, this is the outro. Wave.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
See ya. Krishel's part of the outro now.
All right, y'all. You have a wonderful
Love
night.
your
Yeah, we have
Yeah.
to
Good
work.
night,
on
guys.
Bye.
See you guys Thursday. Bye.